welcome back to 2025 NBA free agency. And, a lot of people around the corner, college football's coming back, the NFL will be around the corner as well. But with all that being said, though, for our NBA people, we did not forget about you, not one bit, not whatsoever. I mean, there's blockbuster moves all over the world, the 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 states, so to speak. I mean, we've got KD to the Rockets, we've got SGA signing an extension, Denver making moves, Houston. Like we said with the KD move, Cooper Flag's now a Maverick. How does that add to the West? I mean, there's so much chaos, so much. And the Atlanta Hawks, Jeffrey, I don't know if you know this, but they added some pieces for Trey Young. And we're going to talk about that. Because I know you have been a big Trey Young needs help supporter. So guess what? They made some moves, and we're going to talk about that. But, Jeffrey, how are you? And excited to do this with you.
Doing great, Austin. Absolutely excited that we were able to make this show happen with NBA free agency. It's been a crazy free agency. As you mentioned, like Kevin Durant, it just feels like at this point, like he's just the blockbuster name in the trade market. Like it's the last, 5 off seasons or so, like he's had like 3 big trades. He's been involved in 3 big trades. And the fact that he's like 37 years old now, 36, 37 years old, he's still as good as he is,
Yes.
right? Like he's still great. But the amount that teams are trading for him for, like he's demanding still so much to like acquire him. It's one of those things where like, is it worth it? Like was it a smart move by the
Mm-hmm.
Rockets? Like we'll get into that and tons more. But yeah, it's so many moves in free agency. It's not just the trade; it's also the re-signings as well in the deals. With cap space and everything. I'm not a massive cap space expert, but at the same time, it's still crazy to think about some of these teams. Like, are they overpaying certain players or are they not? So it's crazy. We
Mm-hmm.
got a lot to get into, team by team, crazy stuff. We got Caden, the Diesel Freak, already in the chat, excited about the show. So we appreciate that. But definitely got a lot to get into. I'm excited about it.
Yes. Yes, we got plenty to get to. I mean, I mean, I love NBA free agency. I know some people this is a down period. They kind of overlook it, don't really think about it. I love it because you've got trades that you never thought you would see, contract extensions. So I'm looking forward to talking about it. So let's get into it, shall we? And if Jeffrey, if you'd be so kind to pull it up on the screen, and we can get to talking. So let's start
Yeah.
with the Atlanta Hawks. They re-signed nobody as we speak, but they made some big key additions. Nikhil Alexander Walker agreed to a 4-year deal via sign and trade. Luke Kennard agreed to a 1-year deal. Kristaps Porzingis joins via 3-team trade, getting Trey Young some help. And with the East being a little more open with Halliburton, and we'll get into what the Bucks did, and the Celtics being injury and them shaking things up. But Atlanta, Jeffrey, we talked about it, how you said Trey Young needs to get some help, or else he's going to rot away like Damian Lillard did in Portland. Well, Atlanta went out and said, okay, we see our window starting to open. Let's go out and make some moves so Trey Young doesn't request a trade. But the departures as well. Atlanta lost a lot. They lost Quentin Capella to free agency to Houston. Karis LeVert departs to Detroit. Larry Nance Jr. back to Cleveland. Terrence Mann departs via a 3-team trade. George Niang departs via a 3-team trade. And David Roddy got released. So, Jeffrey, as far as Atlanta goes, looking at this, what do you make of all this? What do you think? Did the Hawks do enough to help Trey Young potentially compete out East next year?
It's an interesting question because of the fact when you look at the East was pretty deep for a while, and it still kind of is. But the West is like the
Mm-hmm.
deeper one. That's the deeper league. The East, I mean, you have the top Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, all that kind of stuff. Like Pacers have emerged now, but it seems like there's space for a team like Atlanta or Orlando, or some of these teams kind of on the outer fringes of being good teams in the East, that they could rise up. And the Hawks are one of those teams, and they've been there forever because they have one of the best players in the NBA in Trae Young, one of the best guards in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But as like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and I said it before, he has not had a lot of help. He's not had enough help. I mean, the thing is, you look at those
Mm-hmm.
departures, most of them are not that significant overall, like Terrence Mann, George Niang. They're not like massive players, but then you see Clint Capella. I mean, that's a big
Mm-hmm.
player. But then you bring in Porzingis. And like on the surface, you're like, that
Mm-hmm.
is a great move because he's a great player. Still can't believe Boston got rid of him, by the way. But the thing is that Porzingis is hurt a lot. He is injured a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you
Yes.
look at the fact that he did not play well for Boston toward the end in the playoffs and all that. Maybe that's the reason they got rid of him. I don't think Luke Kennard is a
Mm-hmm.
massive addition. He's a solid enough, shooter. Alexander Walker's pretty good. I think the Hawks it's been a net positive, I guess, that they've gotten rid of a lot of players they don't need. And they have added a couple
Mm-hmm.
solid additions, but I do think they might need to make another move or two, possibly. I don't know if they will or not, but if they want to really compete in the East, I don't know if this is enough.
See, here's the thing. The Porzingis trade on the surface, I like it. I think it's very good. I think it's going to help Atlanta with a big man if Porzingis can stay healthy, because Porzingis gives you 15, 20 a night, something Trae Young hasn't had consistently out of a big man. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, that's going to be the steal of free agency, in my opinion. I don't know if you remember or not, but in game four of the Western Conference Finals, he had 25, and he had like 19 and a quarter. Dude can go on a hot streak when he gets hot, and he's a solid defender. I'm telling people right now, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to be a great pickup for Atlanta. Like, I know on the surface it doesn't seem like all that much, but this is going to be one of them we look back. If Atlanta goes far next year and maybe even wins the whole thing, that we look at and say, remember this on July 8th, 2025. I told people about this. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he's a dog. I like it.
Yeah, I'd say
I mean,
that is a fair assessment of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, he is a guy that has another gear in him. Like, maybe at the Hawks he'll get untapped, where he can consistently be a bucket getter next to Trae Young. With his facilitating, maybe Young will be able to unlock more out of Walker. I think he is a good player. I think, like I said, Porzingis, when healthy and when dialed in, is a really good player. I don't know if it's enough for the Hawks to compete at the top of these, but I do think these moves have made them better. I think that maybe instead of them being like the 8th, 9th, or 10th seed, maybe they'll be like 6th or 5th.
Yes, because the East is very open. And last thing I'll say, Luke Kennard, dude's a sharpshooter. He's going to add 3-point shooting ability. Like Trae Young, people are guarding him before he even crosses half court. Now you add a guy like Kennard. We'll see how he pairs, because he can't create his own shot. That's one of his biggest downfalls, if you would say. But dude, if you set him up, dude can get hot. He showed that in Memphis. So these are some sneaky good pickups. And like you said with Porzingis, if healthy, I think Atlanta, like you said, could be a 5-6 seed, maybe even top 4, maybe with the way the East injuries and everything else is. I mean, Atlanta definitely went out and got Trae Young some help. They just didn't sit back. So I want to ask you before we move on, Jeffrey, did Atlanta do enough to maybe keep Trae Young happy for at least a year?
Yes,
another year.
I would say that would be the case. I mean, Trae Young has stuck it out there for a long time. I mean, he's kind of turning into like Damian Lillard. You know what I'm saying? Where like he's on a bad team that competes for a long time. Like Damian Lillard was at the Trailblazers. They had like that 1 year when he was waving goodbye to the Thunder. With McCollum, and they were pretty good. But like that was it. But then like Trae Young, like the Hawks always are like 500. They compete, they make the playoffs, but that's about it. I think these moves make them better. So yes, Trae Young is going to be happy, but I think it's going to take more for Trae Young to really want to leave Atlanta, like for them to be worse, than what they currently are. He likes Atlanta, he's it's not like he wants to leave. It's just one of those things where, if he gets some more help and they are like a 4 or 5 seed, I think he'll be happy with that. Obviously, he would want to win a title, but like he would be happy with the improvements. I just think they need to make another move or two at least to be able to compete at the top of the East. We do have 2 super chats from Kane the man. Appreciate this $5 super chat here, Kane. He says, Austin, the Nuggets suck, and Jokic will never be like Kobe or Jordan or be on the GOAT mount next to them. I mean, the thing is, Kobe and Jordan are 2 of the best players of all time, and they're guards. Jokic is one of the best bigs we've ever seen. That is a fact. Like, you're comparing 2 different positions,
Yes.
2 different players, and the Nuggets, they did win a title recently. I mean, they're not as good right now, but it's because they lost some of their players. But they're trying to reload here. But I'll let Austin have a minute to respond to this about the Nuggets sucking.
Okay, so here's the thing. We won a title just a little over 2 years ago, 2023. Actually, the shirt I'm wearing tonight, funny enough, come prepared. But here's the thing, like Jeffrey said, you're comparing 2 different positions. And I know, and even Jeffrey said, whether you love or hate Jokic, he's arguably the greatest big man we've ever seen. Even better than Shaq in some people's eyes. Now,
he's a lot more dynamic than Shaq.
as
I mean, obviously Shaq was from a different era, but Shaq was just big. Jokic can pass, shoot, rebound, assist. I mean, he's good at everything,
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing too, and about being on Kobe or Jordan or being on GOAT Mountain, Jokic may never be on GOAT Mountain. But here's the thing though, Caden, before you judge a career, Jokic he's still got a lot of years left, I think, if he really wants to play. And he's already got 3 MVPs and a title. Like, that's already first ballot Hall of Famer. If he wins 2 more titles and another MVP, we'll have to start talking about him among the elite of the elite, GOAT Mountain. Like, some people already consider him the greatest big to ever do it. And he's just getting started. That's the thing. Like Jeffrey said, he's just getting started. If Denver can get him some help, I don't see why we couldn't win another 2 or 3 titles, possibly.
It's absolutely fair. I mean, he is, like you said, one of the best bigs of all time, maybe even the best big, and he's so dynamic. He's so fun to watch. He gets some more awards under his belt. I mean, he could be right there, like you said. Caden also, with another $5 super chat, appreciate it, says Alexander Walker will never reach the status of Kobe or Jordan. I mean, like, all right, like Alexander Walker's a good player, but like Jokic, like he's got a case to be like toward the top. Like Alexander Walker, he's just a good player. He's just a solid player. I mean, when his career's done, I'm sure people are gonna look back and say, "Oh yeah, he was pretty good." Like not everybody's the GOAT, right?
Here's the thing, though. Did me or you say anything about him being Kobe or Jordan level?
No,
all I said
that's
was,
just Caden for you. You gotta love it.
Like, here's the thing. All I said was this is a great pickup for Atlanta. He's a dog. Like, I never once said, oh, he's going to be the next Kobe. No, I was just saying, and I know part of him. And anywho, go on to the next one. I'm going down the rabbit hole.
That's what Kane will do for you. You gotta love it. All right, so Boston.
Speaking of,
Boston's our next team.
Yes, the Boston Celtics, a team who won a title last year. I mean, and they re-signed nobody, which, fair enough. I mean, they were a team, Jeffrey, that their cap room. I mean, I don't know how they re-signed Tatum and Brown like they did, but I think they're paying for it now because their additions were George Niang, Luke Garza, Josh Monnett, and Anthony Simons via a trade with Portland. Their departures, though, are Drew Holiday, Luke Cornett, and Chris Dabbs. And this is one here, Jeffrey. I know Tatum got hurt, so he's going to be like Tyrese. He's going to be out all next year. But what in the world is this, Boston. Listen, I'm not going to. I got a lot of things to say about letting Drew Holiday go, but you go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
I have no idea what the Celtics are doing. And like you said, I think it has to do with cap space. I think it's two things. Cap space because of Brown, Tatum, like they're paying them so much, and then the injury. The injury to Jason Tatum might forever alter the Celtics' potential dynasty that they could have had. I'm not saying it's over. Maybe they can work this out and get back to the top in a couple years. But we can look back at this in 10 years and say, what if? What if Tatum didn't get hurt? Because I don't think these moves would have been made if he didn't get hurt. Because they're realizing next year they're not going to be as good because he's not going to be back next season. So it's like they're looking at next season as a lost cause. But now that they've let these players go, are they going to be able to get back there with more moves? I know like Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge when he was there, like they've made incredible moves in the past to get what they had because everybody was losing it when they lost Marcus Smart, right? And then they got Drew Holiday, and it was like, okay, well, we don't even need Marcus Smart anymore. So it's like they've been able to work things out of a bind to continue to be great, to continue to have great rosters, and it finally paid off with the one title with Tatum and Brown. But this just feels like a massive L. Like the guys that they're adding, like no offense, because I know George Niang played for Louisville. I know he's one of your boys at Louisville. But it's like George Niang's not a great player. Luka Garza is not a great player for the NBA. College-wise, fantastic. For the NBA, no. Josh Minott, I mean, barely know anything about him. Anthony Simons, he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player, but you're losing Holiday and Kristaps. Anthony Simons is not enough to replace that at all. And it's like Drew Holiday and Marcus Smart both had that dog in them on defense, right? It's like you don't have that anymore.
Yes.
Like you still have Derek White, but they were even talking about getting rid of him. Now they haven't. I don't know if they will or not, but it worries me. That's all. I just feel like the Celtics have taken a massive step back here. I know the Tatum injury, they were already going to be worse, but now you've lost two of your best players. We don't know what they're going to do with Al Horford. We don't know what's going on with Derek White. We don't know what's going on with the whole team. Are they about to blow this whole thing up? I just don't think they should. I get Kristaps. When I saw that move, I was like, all right, he didn't play that great. He's injury prone, whatever. But Holiday, I mean, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
See, here's the thing too, Jeffrey. And this was the team after they won the title in 2024 that we were talking about could go on a three-peat run. That's how talented this team was. Like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this team has potential to three-peat, could do it." And then Tatum gets hurt, and then they do this and blow it all up. And here's the thing: Anthony Simons, he's a pure scorer. He's going to get Boston 25, 30 a night. He had a game winner against Denver last year. Made me mad. But we won't get into that now because we'll go down a rabbit hole. Dadgum defense. Anywho. But like you said, what upsets me is, okay, Luke Cornett, he left for San Antonio on a $40 million deal, which we'll see when we get to the Spurs down there. Kristaps, like you said, health issues. If he would have been more healthy, maybe Boston could have seen a reason to keep him intact. But losing Drew Holiday, the man is still a dog on defense. Yeah, Drew Holiday's not going to give you maybe more than 15 a night, but he makes up for it on the defensive end. And I know they say as you age, you kind of lose it. Drew Holiday is a pretty old guy, and he still is out there like a dog on defense, playing defense, getting in defenders' faces. And I'm like, listen, Boston, I know you're trying to retool and see what you can do, free up some cap space, but you're trading out Holiday for Simons, and what you're losing is that dog on defense, what won you the title in the first place. I'm like you, Jeffrey. I'm just like, I get the cap space, the cap issue, but I'm just like, this is a massive L.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I don't like the moves. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that they got something up their sleeve for next year. Once Tatum comes back, maybe they'll make a big trade to get a really good player eventually. But I don't know. I just don't like it. I wish they had been able to keep the team together, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Boston's making some moves, and we're going to find out in a year or two whether those moves end up working out or not. We got another $5 super chat from Caden. Appreciate it, Caden. He says, Austin, I grew up watching Kobe and Michael Jordan, and it's going to take a lot for someone to step up, but I know nobody will. I dare you to debate. Well, I'm definitely sure that Austin will debate Caden the Diesel Freak over the GOAT of all time in basketball eventually. I'm sure that will happen. I don't know about tonight because, again, I don't know how long we're going to be live tonight, but I'm sure it will happen eventually. I mean, but we got Caden with another $5 super chat. I mean, he really wants to debate Austin, so we'll see. I'll just leave it at that. We'll see. He says Boston is overrated and they'll never be like the Bulls teams with Jordan. Well, I mean, Boston, when at their best, is like they're really great. They're really great. But I mean, those Bulls teams were some of the best. But look where the Bulls are now. They're not anything. But I mean, they were really great back then. But we appreciate the support, Kane. Definitely. Again, I'm sure you will debate Austin eventually. I mean, if Austin wants to debate you tonight at the end of the show, again, that's up to Austin. I'm not debating, but if that's up to Austin. But if not, we'll do it next show. I do want to bring up this comment from Burks though, real quick, before we get to our next team. If Sedarian Morgan went somewhere else, Jackson and you and Jeffrey are the last people who would attack on Twitter because you got more mature like the 46-10. Thank you, Burks. I appreciate that. I would never do that. And there's been so many players that I've wanted to go to a certain school and they didn't. And at most, I think at one time on one player, I said it was a bad decision to go to that school. But I wasn't saying it to him directly. I was just saying it like as a retweet, like it would have been better for him to go to this school. That's like the only time I've ever even done anything like that. I would say like that was a bad decision, in my opinion, for that guy to go there. But other than that, like, I would never ever attack a player. It's their decision. It's their life. They got to do what they think is best. And yes, it is absolutely wrong and terrible to attack somebody like that because they don't go to your school. I mean, I'm not going to name the person that you said. I know you're talking about. I saw it prior, but that they shouldn't have done that. That definitely was not correct, not kosher. I've seen so many players get death threats and stuff by people over where they commit or having a bad game. And I know now these guys are getting paid a lot of money, but it's still wrong. You don't do that.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are investing in these schools, so they feel like if they're not contributing at a high level, right? Like they're not contributing at a high level. It's like, well, hey, I'm supporting your NIL. I'm like, this is all you're giving me. You still don't do that. It's still just insane. So we got another $5 super chat from Kane the Diesel Freak. He says, the daggum Nuggets will never be like the Bulls team with Jordan. Austin, let's be honest, will never happen. And that is a fact. Again, I mean, those Bulls teams were incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like the Celtics, they've been great in the past. The Nuggets, really great right now, especially the year they won it. But, I mean, those Bulls teams, yeah, it's hard to match that. But, I mean, the Bulls aren't good right now. They were then. We definitely appreciate the super chats, Caden. And Bert says, Caden, thanks for Jeffrey. I definitely appreciate it, Caden. Definitely. We know through all the bluff. We know through all the smack talk. Like, we know that, deep inside, like, we appreciate your support, Caden. We know that you're enjoying the show, and that's what matters to us. We know that you're enjoying the show, even if you think we're morons.
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing, too. So, the Brooklyn Nets, talk about a team who they're an interesting team, Jeffrey, because they're a really young team. As you can see, they re-signed Deron Sharp, Zaire Williams additions, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr. from Denver. But their departures, they lost D'Angelo Russell, Cam Johnson, and Trendon Warford. So, Jeffrey, Brooklyn's one of those teams, when we talk about this free agency, they're not a contender. They're not bad, but they've got a lot of young talent, and they're trying to develop. What do you think of these moves by Brooklyn? Because they're one of them teams, they're kind of stuck in mediocrity. They're not good, they're not bad.
Yeah.
But
they realize that they realize they're not getting anywhere with what they have, so they basically just kind of blown it up per se. Because I mean, if you see like the moves, right? Like you've got D'Angelo Russell and you've got Cam Johnson leaving, and those were two of their best players. You know what I'm saying? Like the only
Yes.
player they've added that is really good is Michael Porter Jr. Like they're not anywhere close to competing for anything.
No.
So I feel like these moves
No.
is kind of like, all right, we're kind of just selling out here, we're getting some draft picks, build for the future, I guess. I don't know, because I mean they're stuck in no man's land. Like the worst place to be in the NBA. Like I know nobody wants to be like the biggest losers, like the Charlotte Hornets or whatever, but the thing is that you also don't want to be stuck at like 500 either, because you got to make one or two moves. And when you're stuck at 500, you either acquire some great talent to get better, or you just sell out. And it just kind of seems like the Nets are just kind of giving up with what they have, and they're just kind of like tanking. That kind of seems like what they're doing, because what they've lost is better than what they've added.
Listen, here's the thing. For me, Brooklyn's kind of, like you said, in no man's land. They're kind of just like, they're not bad. They're not good either. They're just kind of like, we don't know what we want to do. And here's the thing, Michael Porter Jr., and I'll say this, I love MPJ. And, he's a very streaky shooter. That's what you're getting, Brooklyn. Michael Porter, when he gets hot, can give you 30 a night. He can hit 6-7 threes. But the problem with him is the next game he'll give you like 5 points. And that's where I think the frustration lied in Denver. And that's why I think a lot of people were like, okay, we love you, MPJ, but if this is the product, we don't want it anymore. Take it back. Because Jeffrey, we didn't know each other yet, but I remember when Michael Porter got drafted, everyone told me, oh, this is a bad pick. We just wasted a year. We just wasted, because remember he injured his back really bad at Missouri. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And some people thought that was career ending. He'd never be able to play again. And I'm like, listen, I like Michael Porter Jr. He's going to be a star in this league. And people kept telling me, they're like, he's not going to be any good. He's already got too big of an injury issue. And I'm like, and Michael Malone took a flyer on him, because Michael Malone called the GM and said, I want Michael Porter. And I'm like, and he helped us win the championship. I don't think without him we don't win the title. So I have lots of love for MPJ. I hope he does great in Brooklyn. The problem is he's a streaky scorer. That's his issue. And sometimes he's lackadaisical on defense. He shows little to no effort. That's where, to me, where I think Denver and Michael Porter Jr. kind of were like, maybe it's just best to part ways.
Yeah, it's frustrating because he was a really good player for the Nuggets. It's frustrating to lose a guy like that, but at the same time, you can almost say this might end up being a good thing for Michael Porter Jr. because if he's able to showcase more of his abilities at a bad team, it might improve like his stock in the future to like re-sign to a really great team again. Like you never want to go from being on a championship contender to a bad team, but like at the same time, like Michael Porter Jr. would disappear at times. So there were games where it was all Jokic and Murray and Aaron Gordon, and he's just kind of like there. And then other games he'd have to. He wasn't consistent. I don't think that's what the Nuggets want. They feel probably that if they're going to get back to a title, they don't need to have one of their 4 best players being a guy that will give you 2 points on a night. So, it's frustrating. It is what it is, but I think it might end up working out for both the Nuggets and Michael Porter Jr. if Michael Porter Jr. can learn to be more consistent at Brooklyn. Maybe. But at the end of the day, this isn't going to help the Nets do anything. I mean, they suck right now, so they're not going to get better with this ad.
Yes. And here's the thing with Brooklyn. I mean, take care of Michael Porter Jr. Take care of him for me. But, like we mentioned, We'll talk about Cam Johnson here in a minute when we get to Denver, and of course D'Angelo Russell, Trent Wolford to Philly. I mean, I don't think that's a big of a loss. I mean, here we go. Here we go. Jeffrey's hometown team, the Charlotte Hornets. Now, Jeffrey, as we all know, is out in the suburbs of North Carolina somewhere on his grassy field watching the Hornets. So Jeffrey knows a lot about the Hornets, or what he researches. But the Hornets re-signed Trey Mann. Additions, they added Pat Connaughton, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mason Plumlee, Colin Sexton. I mean, their departures. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Yusuf Nurkic and Mark Williams. So, Jeffrey, this is kind of giving a vibe with LaMelo and Brandon Miller, your boy from Bama. Is Charlotte trying to put together a sneaky playing team with adding of veterans to complement LaMelo and Brandon Williams? Like, talk to me here.
Yeah. It's interesting because the Hornets have been bad for so long. Like, they had the 1 year with Kemba Walker where they were decent. And other than that, like, they've basically been hot trash for a long time. The only thing that was interesting about the Hornets was Kemba Walker and Cody Zeller for me. Other than that, it was like, all right, whatever. Now, like, Kemba Walker's gone. LaMelo's the new star in town. But the issue with LaMelo is that he's hurt all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Yes.
why I feel that they've made these moves, adding Colin Sexton, adding Spencer Dinwiddie, adding Pat Connaughton. These guards, part of it is because they're worried about LaMelo. And maybe they feel taking the load off him, adding all these extra guards in the backcourt. If he does, God forbid, get hurt again, then the Hornets won't be completely left for dead in the backcourt. And the second reason is if he doesn't get hurt, then you have all these guys around him to, like I said, take the load off him, where he doesn't have to do every single thing out there, kind of like Kemba. Maybe they're projecting and saying Kemba's career maybe ended faster because of the amount he had to do at Charlotte to even do anything. Maybe they feel that having more guys that can handle the ball, take some pressure off LaMelo, will end up making his career longer.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, too, Jeffrey. Adding guys like Pat Connaughton, Spencer Dinwiddie, those two guys, Pat Connaughton won a title with the Bucks. Spencer Dinwiddie went to the finals with Dallas in 24. So they're adding some of these and Mason Plumlee and a Colin Sexton, who's a bright young superstar. They're adding some young pieces, but they're also mixing in that championship veteran experience. Players that have seen the finals, have seen what it's like to be in the postseason. And I think these are some good moves for Charlotte. I think it's going to help their young development. And here's the thing. And with the way the East is, Jeffrey, could the Hornets be a playing team next year with these moves? What do you think?
I think it's possible. I mean, I think it is I don't want to say 50-50 shot, but maybe 60-40 no. But I think that there's a shot, yes. Like, they're going to be better. Especially if LaMelo, and also I would like to key in Brandon Miller. He was also hurt last year. Both of them need to stay healthy. And if they do, with these additions, I think they could go like, 82 games, like 40-42 and get like the 9 or 10 seed. It's possible. I mean, they're not going to be great. But I think that they definitely could be better if LaMelo and Brandon Miller stay healthy with what they've
added. And I'll say this too, Jeffrey. I mean, you look at the departures. Yeah, they lost Mark Williams and Nurkic. And of course, they lost Vesib Micic. I don't know how you say that. But Charlotte really didn't lose anybody of significance. Like, Nurkic is a good center. Mark Williams is a good center. But they didn't lose anybody that's going to make or break their season, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've definitely added more than they've lost. And that, like you said, I'm intrigued because what is the angle? I think, like I said before, I feel that it's mostly for LaMelo's benefit to give him, more talent around him, to put, less pressure on him overall. I think that That's the main thing. But I do think that, like you said as well, that they kind of want to see what this will do. Like, because if they can get back to if they can get to play-in territory, then maybe if you add one more star next to a healthy LaMelo, next to a Brandon Miller, you might have something in a couple years. Maybe the Hornets won't be the doormat anymore. Maybe they'll actually be, like what Orlando's becoming, like a competent, team that makes the playoffs every year, and they'll start getting better. But they want to see if this will help, because if LaMelo and Brandon Miller keep getting hurt, then they're gonna have to let them go, and that you don't want to do that. Yes. But we'll just have to see. This is kind of like this. This is a test run year with the Hornets to see how good they can be with this. Definitely want to preface. Did not forget the super chat. Caden, definitely appreciate the contribution with $5. He says, Jeffrey, I'm that daggum good, and even the women Hooters wanted, they were crazy for it. So yeah, that is fantastic, Caden. I'm glad that, and I'm assuming down in Panama City, I'm glad that that you that's.
So, Jeffrey, the Chicago Bulls, as you see, their free agency hasn't been that busy. They're kind of keeping it quiet, which can either be a good thing or a bad thing. So we'll find out once the season starts. But departures, they lost Lonzo Ball in a trade with Cleveland. Isaac Okoro joins via a trade via Cleveland. And then Trey Jones returns on a 3-year deal to Chicago. So, Jeffrey, they've been kind of quiet, but making some sneaky moves. Trey Jones, we both watched him at Duke because we're out in ACC country here in Kentucky and North Carolina. So we watched a lot of Duke. And Isaac Okoro, we watched quite a bit of Auburn because you're kind of out in SEC country too, a little bit. I know, and I am too, being Louisville, Kentucky territory. So the biggest thing I want to point out here is Lonzo Ball. I mean, man,
injuries.
Lonzo could have been something. Yeah, Lonzo Ball is the biggest what if in the NBA. This dude's talented. If he just would have stayed healthy, Jeffrey, I think he would be a top 15 point guard in the league, in my opinion. But he just can't stay healthy. What are your thoughts on the Bulls' very quiet free agency so far?
I don't really think the Bulls know what to do. I mean, they're stuck in mid territory. I don't think they want to make any moves that's going to make them, and I don't think they know how to make the team great. So they're just kind of sitting. I don't know, like they don't know what to do. So I mean, sometimes I guess if you feel like it's better to be mid than bad, I guess that's what they feel. So they're not really making any moves that's going to dramatically improve the team. Trey Jones, good player, but I mean, not a superstar, but he's a good player. Okoro, he's a pretty solid player, but like that in of itself is not going to make them good. Lonzo Ball, I know why they got rid of Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball hasn't played in years. I mean, it's like the Ben Simmons thing with the Brooklyn Nets. Like he didn't play, in the 76ers, all that kind of stuff. It's like you don't with Ben Simmons, you don't want a guy that's not playing. You don't want a guy that just exists on your team. You're paying him money and he doesn't play. With Lonzo, it's sad because Lonzo suffered a really severe injury, whereas Ben Simmons, I don't know what the heck was going on with that. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You just don't want dead weight on your roster. So that's why players get let go. That's why Victor Oladipo is not currently on a team. He's a guy that could still be in the NBA. He's a really great player. We know prior to all of his knee injuries that he was really darn good at Indiana, but he's not on a team right now because it's like, if any team is ever going to sign Victor Oladipo again, because he has expressed interest to come back to the league one more time, they want to make sure he's actually available to play, and not he's just going to be on the roster and he's not playing, because that's what happens, and that's all Lonzo Ball was. It's sad because even though I was annoyed by the Ball family because of their dad, he was annoying, so it was a pain. But when Lonzo got hurt, I still was very sad because like. I saw the talent he possessed, even though he was not as good as LeBron or Zion that, for whatever reason, LeVar Ball was saying. Lonzo Ball was good. He was a good player. And LaMelo's good. LaMelo is really good, but for some reason, injuries just cursed them. I don't know why, and that's what I'm worried about. LaMelo, I think, is the more healthy of the two by far, but I'm still worried about it. That's why Charlotte, it's like you don't want a lemon, man. It's like, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's like you can have the most talented player in the world, but if they're not on the floor, that it doesn't help you. So that's why Chicago got rid of
them. And here's the thing too, with Lonzo. I mean, Lonzo at UCLA, he was a great player. I mean, I remember watching him at UCLA, and he was just dropping dimes left and right, and he was putting defenses on mixtapes, so to speak, defenders on mixtapes. But it's just like his knees, he got hurt really bad, and then Chicago, when they originally signed him, Jeffrey, it was like $125 million contract for like 4 years, and then he missed like 3 years, and Chicago had to pay every bit of that. So I could kind of see why they were like, okay, listen, I know this is a brutal business and we were patient with you, but we can't afford to keep paying you because it's hurting our roster. And it's really sad that it came to that.
It sucks. I knew eventually it would happen. And I mean, if he never gets healthy and can regain his form, then he's just going to end up fading out of the league.
And it really sucks. But speaking of returning to form, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jeffrey, no longer living in LeBron's shadow. The Cavaliers, dare I say, may be contenders to win it all. But
we got Caden with a $2 super chat, and he says, letter F, the Nuggets.
Okay.
Very colorful. Very, 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 very colorful phrase there, Caden. Again, we really appreciate the support, appreciate the super chat. Not a Nuggets fan.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, that's fine. But Cleveland, Jeffrey, they've had a pretty, I would say, decently quiet free agency. They were a team who won over 60-plus games. Was the one.
They have no reason to make a lot of moves. There's no reason to.
Yes. Well, and as I already say, Sam Merrill returns on a 4-year deal. They added Lonzo Ball and Larry Nance. But they lost Ty Jerome and Okoro. I mean, what do you think of this, Jeffrey? Just kind of give me your little thoughts on this, because there's no really big name other than maybe Lonzo. The state of Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland, like I said, no reason to make a lot of moves. They were really good last year. They have a great young core with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and some other, solid players as well. And then they've got like Donovan Mitchell, who, I mean, he's the wild card in this situation because, like, Cleveland, I mean, they were so good during the regular season that I thought they had a shot this year, and then they ended up choking in the playoffs, right? But the thing is that their window to win it all is probably slim because Donovan Mitchell's old, and you know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna start declining soon, and then they got the young stars, and then all that cap space comes into play once Darius Garland and Evan Mobley are making the big bucks. So it's just going to be interesting to see where they're at. I mean, like I said, no reason to make a lot of moves right now because they're one of the best teams in the league. And, if you don't make any moves, you're going to be great again. So right now, they just don't really have a reason to make moves. They brought Sam Merrill back because he's a really good shooter, not that expensive. So that's fine. Lonzo, I mean, he's more of if he can come back and play and be healthy, that's great. If not, we took a chance to see if he will. And then, I mean, Larry Nance, he's Larry Nance. Ty Jerome,
he's athletic. Yeah. Here's the thing.
Larry Nance is Larry Nance. Like he's whatever.
Here's the thing, Jeffrey. Not to cut you off, but he's athletic, and Cleveland loves athleticism. And his dad played in Cleveland. So it's kind of a hometown kind of thing, but Ty Jerome and Isaac Okoro continue on.
It's not. They're not massive losses, so I don't see them really being better or worse here. I mean, it's fine. They're going to be good again next year. It's just whether they can win it all or make a playoff run or whatever or not. That's kind of more of the question.
And this next team, oh boy. We've got quite a bit to talk about because it's the Dallas Mavericks. And listen, I'm not going to call conclusion on this, but trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers and then getting the number 1 overall pick and getting Cooper Flagg, I'm not gonna say there's any conclusion or rigging going on here, but this fish does not smell right, Jeffrey, because you do not just trade a generational, once in a lifetime player away and then get another one handed to you on a silver freaking platter. Okay, that concludes my rant. My Anywho, back to normal reality here. They re-signed Dante Exum. They re-signed Kyrie Irving to a 3-year extension, but they made additions with D'Angelo Russell, Spencer Dinwiddie departing to Charlotte. And here's the thing: and people may on the surface be saying, "Okay, why did you sign D'Angelo Russell?" Well, Kyrie Irving's dealing with an Achilles injury. He's not expected to be back until around, I think, Christmas is what they said. So D'Lo's kind of the security blanket until he gets back, and it's a cheap 2-year deal. But Kyrie was due for a contract extension, and so they gave him an extra 3 years. And by him, he actually took a pay cut. Funny enough, so originally his contract was a little more, and they redone it, and he took another year, so he gets all of his money on the back half of this one. So, with that being said, how do you feel about that, Jeffrey? I mean, do you like these moves Dallas made? Because I know they've got AD, Cooper Flag. Dallas has still got a pretty doggone good team to compete out west. Maybe even to make another run at the finals if Kyrie can get healthy. What do you think about this?
First, before I get to that, we got another $5 super chat from Caden the Diesel Freak. Appreciate it. He says, Austin is not on my level, and he knows I'm 20 levels above him, and he's jealous the hotties go crazy for me, and they can't handle my alpha genetics. So, yeah, we appreciate that, Caden. I mean, I don't really know what to say. I mean, like, I mean, according to you, Austin's on like level 690 and you're on level 710. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. But yeah, I mean, we appreciate it.
Anywho, back to the Dallas Mavericks.
I love his super chats, man. His comments are so funny. Like it is just, it cracks me up. But to get to your point about the Mavericks, I mean, I still cannot talk about Dallas without talking about getting rid of Luka Doncic. I'm not going to talk about it for long, but still one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen. I don't care that they claim Doncic wasn't in shape. I don't really care, about like I don't even know what you want to say. Like they were trying to make excuses saying like Doncic this, Doncic that. That's why we got rid of him. He was one of the best players in the league. And no, Caden, he's not the GOAT like LeBron, or not LeBron, but like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. LeBron's not the GOAT. Like, I don't care what people say. It's Michael Jordan. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, Doncic is just a really great player, though. That's the thing. And you got rid of him. And I still just, it just frustrates me. So then, Anthony Davis, I mean, he's a good player, but he's getting older. He's hurt all the time. Kyrie Irving's older and he's hurt. I mean, you don't want your best players being old. And like you said, I thought it was funny how you were like, it's conspiracy, like going on with, Doncic gone, and now you got Cooper Flag. I mean, my thing is like Cooper Flag. What are they going to do? What are they going to do when Cooper Flag, if he becomes great, and he's a star player in the league, are they going to trade him like Doncic? So, like, what's the point? I mean, the point of having a star player that you draft is that you keep him, like Dirk. I mean, they kept Dirk till the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, better than anybody, Austin. Dirk was one of your favorite players. And he enjoyed a long, successful, great career at the Dallas Mavericks. And I was expecting it to be the exact same way with Doncic, that he was going to be like Dirk, a Maverick forever, or at least like for the vast majority of his career. Didn't happen. So now you get Cooper Flag. It's like, that's great. Cooper Flag's really good, but are they going to keep him after 5 years? So that's my thoughts on that. And then Kyrie Irving again, getting an extension. That's great. Taking a pay cut. That's great. But he's older, injuries. I don't know, man. Dante Exum on a 1-year deal. I mean, he's not that good. They just kept him because it's like, oh, Dante Exum's like, he's a guy that he's content with his role off the bench. You know, he knocks in a three every now and then. You know, whatever. And like you said, D'Angelo Russell is the security blanket. I think D'Lo's fine. He's not a great player, but he can give you 18 to 20. He's not bad. He's a good player. But Spencer Dinwiddie leaving, okay, you know, it's not insane, but it's just I think the Mavericks are going to be fine, especially if Irving can come back and play, but they're not going to be championship material. They still screwed that up when they got rid of Doncic. And I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with the move. I don't like the move. I liked when players were like Dirk and Curry that stayed at the same school, or not the same school, but the same organization for their entire career. And now that's gone because there's no loyalty anymore with players. You know, like the Celtics could get rid of Tatum tomorrow, and it wouldn't even be a shock problem. You know, I know that sounds ridiculous, but like Doncic was at that level. He was that good, and Dallas just let him go. And it frustrates me. Like I said, I did not agree with that. So even though I don't think that Dallas's moves in the offseason so far have been bad, it's just hard to look at it as a positive when you got rid of one of the best players in the world, you know, for seemingly no reason. So, hey, the Diesel Free with another $5 super chat. Appreciate it. It says Austin doesn't have the kahunas to debate against me because I'll destroy him like Georgia's defense after destroying and barbecuing the Oregon Ducks. Well, yes, when Georgia played Oregon a couple years ago in week 1, it was a bloodbath. It was ugly. I went on like 63-3. So if you were somehow able to debate Austin and destroy him that badly, yeah, like that would be insane. But I don't think Austin would get destroyed that hard. I don't. But, you know, everybody, you know, different opinions. So Caden, you know, definitely confident. Like I said, you're probably going to debate Austin eventually on the NBA or whatever sport. I'm sure it will happen. Like I said, if Austin wants to debate you at the end of the show, I'm all for it. You know, that's just up to Austin, but you know, but we appreciate the support, Kate. Appreciate you for being in the chat. It's always a pleasure. You know, seeing what you got to say tonight. You know, it's always crazy. But I don't know if you heard all of what I said on Dallas, Austin, but I did say, you know, again, I just, you know, moves are fine. They're not going to be a bad team. I just still can't get over the Dodgers thing.
Yes, and here's the thing too, Jeffrey. I want to bring this up before we move on to the Nuggets, which is the next team up. You know, Dallas. Here's the thing: their championship window, as crazy as it sounds, is still open because Anthony Davis, if he can stay healthy, he's a top 15, top 10 player, I think, in this league. Kyrie, I think, has one of the greatest handles in NBA history. He's a pure 25, 30-point scorer a night. I mean, if he comes back and get healthy. And I heard what you said. Dallas has kind of had a quiet free agency, you know, drafting Cooper Flag. You know, Dallas didn't really need to do much to begin with because they thought they would set themselves up for the future. So it's very interesting, to say the least. I mean, my thing with this is, too, Jeffrey, is let me ask you. I know them losing Luka probably hurts it a little bit, but do you still think the Mavericks can win a title when healthy?
I would probably say no.
Okay. You're not a big believer.
I think they'll be good. I think they'll make the playoffs, but they're not going to win at all.
I mean, we'll have to see. And here's the thing, too. Let me ask you this, Jeffrey, before we move on. D'Angelo Russell, he's going to be starting the season, and he's on a 2-year deal. But, Jeffrey, let's say he plays lights out, has an all-star type year like he's known to have. Does Kyrie get his job back automatically, or do we have competition? Because this is what I find interesting.
There's not going to be competition with Kyrie.
No, the reason why I say that, Jeffrey, is because if D'Lo plays like an all-star, do you ride the hot hand and have Kyrie come off the bench for a minute? Is what I mean. Like,
I would just start them both at that point.
Start them both,
even with the size mismatch. Like, I mean, you can't if you've got. I've never liked when a team has a guy that's one of the your stars and like most paid players in the game, and they're coming off the bench. It just like you're wasting money, like you're bleeding money at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when people are saying, "Oh, Dak needs to get benched for Cooper Rush," and it's like, all right, Dak's got a massive contract. It's like you're not benching Dak, okay? It's like, on what world does that make sense? Like Kyrie Irving, when he's healthy, is going to be the starting point guard for the Dallas Mavericks. If D'Lo starts, he can start beside him. I would not bench Kyrie Irving. No, like unless Kyrie Irving becomes Kemba Walker overnight and he can't play anymore. No.
So the next team up is the Denver Nuggets. So this is my team. As you all can
Bruce
see,
Brown's back. Bruce Brown's back.
Yes. So
that's the first thing that popped off the thing. I didn't even know that. I didn't see that.
So as you can see, I'm wearing our championship T-shirt. I came prepared for tonight, but my Denver Nuggets, as I like to call them. So we haven't re-signed anybody. Jokic is eligible for a 4-year extension, but he said he's not going to sign it. He's going to wait until next year when he can make an extra $80 million, I think it is. So respect, but and the additions, Bruce Brown comes back on a 1-year deal. We get Cam Johnson in the Michael Porter Jr. trade. Tim Hardaway Jr. agrees to a 1-year deal. Jonas Valanciunas comes over via trade.
I have a big question for you, Austin. Is Cam Johnson better or worse than Michael Porter Jr.?
I say they're about the same.
Somebody in the chat earlier said that Michael Porter Jr. was better, but it's give or take. I think Michael Porter Jr. is maybe a more complete player, but Cam Johnson, he can contribute more though, like scoring wise. But Michael Porter Jr. is like more of a little bit of everything. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
So here's the thing. Cam Johnson, I think, is the better defender. Michael Porter Jr. is the better scorer. And that kind of evens themselves out. Here's the Cam Johnson's not a slouch when it comes to scoring. He shoots like 46% on threes. So he can light the court up when he needs to. I think they're about even. I think both sides won. I just think Cam Johnson is more consistent on defense than Porter is, and I think that's what we're going for. Because we're like, okay, we need to have better defense. And Cam Johnson is a versatile, could still give you scoring, but also has that dog in him on defense. Tim Hardaway Jr., I love that pickup because he's a guy.
He resurrected his career last year.
In Detroit, yes. I think this is going to be a sneaky pickup. Now, Jonas Valanciunas, Jeffrey, the thing with this is he got an offer to go play overseas in Greece. Like way more money than any NBA team can offer him. So he may not be a Nugget when this is all said and done because the reports have come out about Jonas, even though he's still got 2 years left on his contract, Denver can buy the contract out if his wishes to go play overseas and make more money. But Denver can also say, no, you're going to honor your last 2 years, whether it's with us or anyone else. As long as you're with us, you're going to honor it. So he's up in the air. But if he stays in Denver, we finally have a backup center for Jokic. Hallelujah. Go ahead, Jeffrey. What are your thoughts on this?
It would be great for Denver if he stayed because he is solid. I mean, he's a big body. I saw him at the Pelicans. Like he can play. He kind of like he gives you kind of the Hartenstein-ish vibes like at the Knicks / like Steven Adams at the Thunder. If that that makes any sense. Like he's kind of like a mash of that. He's a solid player. Definitely would help out Jokic. He needs breaks. I mean, definitely needs breaks. Cam Johnson again, Michael Porter Jr. is kind of a wash, depending on how you look at it. Bruce Brown being added again. He was a former Nugget, was on the championship team. Good player. Tim Hardaway Jr. What did you say?
I said it bolsters the bench too, because that was another thing that
Absolutely.
was a problem for us. And you even pointed this out on previous shows. But Denver's bench, and I've always admitted I like Julian Strawther, I like Jalen Pickett, I like Hunter Tice. I watched all those guys in college. I do, but they're not consistent. They're young and they're still learning. And we're trying to win now. We're trying to get a title back in Denver pronto. So not that we can't develop those guys. Like people look at this and say, "Oh, you're giving up on those young guys." That's not what we're doing. We want to develop them guys because our new head coach David Adelman said he loves Strother, he loves Pickett, Tice. He wants to develop these guys, but he also knows you can't win without a bench. Look at OKC. Look at Indiana. What was their biggest strength, Jeffrey?
The bench.
Exactly. Bench depth wins you a title, and that's what won us the title the year we won it.
But the
If you
thing
have a
is
bench,
that it's so hard to keep the bench. That's the problem. Like when you
yep,
win a title,
yep,
those bench
mm-hmm,
guys see an opportunity to say, well, hey, I performed very well off the bench for this team. I can start now. That's why Bruce Brown
mm-hmm,
left. That's why Contavious Caldwell Pope left, because the Nuggets couldn't keep them all, right? Like they won it all and they couldn't keep them
mm-hmm,
all. So then they left. And then what happened? And I told you that. Like I said, because you asked me when they won it all, like, hey, can we keep being great? And I'm like, yeah, if you keep the team together. Well, guess what? They didn't keep the team together. So the bench was gone. And that's why they were way worse this past season. Now they've essentially re added the bench because you've got Bruce Brown,
mm-hmm.
Hardaway Jr., Valanciunas if he stays. So it's like, yeah, the Nuggets are basically right back. They're right back to where they were, possibly being able to compete for a title. I think these moves are fantastic. But yeah, I have the super chat on screen for Caden. Did not get to read this one yet for $2. Appreciate it, Caden. He says Austin is afraid of me and he knows it. Heck yeah. I don't think you're afraid of him, Austin. But again, that is Caden for you. Appreciate that, Caden. Again, definitely. Well, anytime you and Austin debate, it's must see TV. So.
But I personally, Jeffrey, I like this. And here's the thing: the bench, like you said, Bruce Brown coming back, Tim Hardaway Jr. I believe Cam Johnson's going to be the starter next year. I think it's going to be Murray, Brown, Johnson, Yo, Gordon. I think it's going to be our starting five next year. So I'm looking forward to that. And here's the thing, too. I will say this: we took the Thunder to 7 games with no non-existent of a bench, and we got hit with the injury bug. Now we've added these pieces, Jeffrey, which we'll talk about this a little later. But could this make Denver the biggest threat to the Thunder repeating out west? I know a team in Houston that we're going to talk about may disagree with that, but what do you think?
I think they're right there. I mean, we'll have to see it, how it all, works together. Maybe slight growing pains with Cam Johnson at first, integrating him versus what they had in Michael Porter. But I think once it all gets rolling, I think the Nuggets will be one of the 3 to 5 best teams in the NBA next year, and they'll definitely compete for the title in the West. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Denver Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. But again, it's so premature and early to say that, but I think the Nuggets will definitely be better than this past season because they addressed the needs, the concerns, the bench. That's what they needed. So they definitely have done a great job. Honestly, out of all the teams we've looked at so far, best moves have been made by the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Dario Saric departure. He was kind of we thought he would be a nice little backup addition, and then it was just like a hogwash, so to speak.
I don't understand why the Warriors were playing him over Jackson Davis. That's how non-Dario Saric fan I am. He's not great. He's not a fantastic player at all. For a bench player, he's not fantastic. So yeah, you don't play him over Jackson Davis. I'm just saying. That's my thoughts on that.
On that note, I don't know how to transition. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons.
They're back.
I'll tell you what. Yes, they are. The Detroit Pistons. Jeffrey, is it too premature to say the Detroit Pistons can win the East? Is it premature? I mean, they signed Paul Reed. They re-signed Paul Reed additions. Karis LeVert. They signed Duncan Robinson in a sign and trade. I mean, so they added some more shooting to go along with Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart. I mean, their departures, they lost Fontecchio, Hardaway, and Schroeder. I mean, they kind of had semi-quiet, but acquiring Duncan Robinson, Jeffrey, that may be the move that gets Detroit over the hump.
Yeah,
Because of his
it's really
ability.
interesting. It's really interesting because of the fact, like the Pistons, they came out of nowhere. I think a lot of people were expecting them to be better last year, but like they were a lot better last year. Like it clicked. They still have a ways to go, but they are a factor now in the East. They're in that like second tier, like beyond the Celtics, if the Celtics are still going to be really good because they're really blowing things up. But besides the Celtics, Bucks, Knicks, Pacers, Cavs, they're like right behind, and they haven't done anything to really mess with that. I don't see like these additions being like, hey, they're going to be way better next year. But I think more so than being way better is if Jalen Duren, Stewart get better. Like that. That's more of what they need. They just need their young talent to get better. Cunningham's already great. You just keep doing what you're doing. Kind of like SGA. SGA has been great for years. It just took the rest of the team to catch up with it. That's all it was, literally. Jalen Williams becoming what he is right now is why the Thunder just won it all. Because SGA's been SGA for 4 or 5 seasons now. Like SGA should have already won an MVP probably, but that's how good he's been. It's just that the team wasn't there. He finally got the MVP this year because the team caught up and he got the title as well. It's just simple as that. Like Cunningham is fantastic. He probably has a little bit room to get better, I'm sure, but he's already fantastic. It's just Duren and Stewart and the rest of the team has got to catch up. And if they do, then the Pistons are going to be a force. LeVert's been in the league a long time now. He's fine. He every team he's on, he contributes to. He's a fine player. Duncan Robinson, he's had some slumps, but when he's shooting well, he is really good. Hardaway Jr., that kind of sucks they lost him, but I know why they did because, again, he had a really good season. He wanted to test free agency, get a better contract. Don't blame him. Schroeder's he's kind of not what he was. He's not as good as he used to be. He's okay. So not a big loss. So I feel like the Pistons have kept what they've they're about the same level they were as a team. It's just about their young talent getting better. And if they do, then they'll be much better next season.
And here's the thing, too. Duncan Robinson adds another layer to the Pistons' offense and playmaking because he's a guy, when he comes off a screen, you better be up in his grill ready to contest because he can get hot for 3. He's not like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, but Duncan Robinson can shoot the basketball. And I know losing Hardaway, like you said, might be kind of a big blow, but Duncan Robinson might help offset that because of his shooting ability. I think, like you said, the Pistons, didn't do anything to hurt their stock. I think they just got a little bit better. Is it enough to win the East? It's a little early to tell because free agency is still going on, and you never know what other trades could happen throughout the year. But the Golden State Warriors, okay.
Nothing. Looney leaves. That's it.
Golden State, do you know you have Steph freaking Curry on your roster, and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green? They need some help. Do I need to come up to your all's front office and get on the phone and start wheeling and dealing? Because this is ridiculous. Listen, I don't like going on rants, but I'm about ready to. You've got Steph Curry, who has maybe 2 or 3 good years left, and he's this close to winning his 5th championship. his fifth, which puts him in elite status, and you're sitting here doing absolutely doo-doo squat, nothing, not having you, not re-signing anybody, no additions. You let Looney, who is a key part of your championship team, just walk out the door to the Pelicans, which we'll get to in a minute. What are you doing, Golden State? Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, what? Somebody do something. This is malpractice. This is malfeasing what they're doing to Steph Curry. Go ahead, Jeffrey, before I get us kicked off YouTube. I've had enough of this.
Oh, you're good. I mean, obviously I've watched a lot of the Warriors because of Jackson Davis, aka like playing more Steve Kerr, like best player in Indiana history in the last 10 years. Like more playing time. It's like so I've watched a lot of the Warriors. I mean, their current iteration of the roster, they're not doing anything. I mean, they're gonna compete in the second tier of the West. They're gonna make the playoffs, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna be better than that, and that's the problem. It's like you said, Curry, his I don't even want to call it prime because age-wise he should be way past his prime, but the guy's defying odds, age, whatever. He's still really good, but like it's gonna run out. Eventually, he's gonna lose a step, and when that happens, I'm telling you, the second that Curry loses the ability to get to the rim, that is when his career's over. And that's what happened to Kemba Walker. That's kind of what's happened to Westbrook. Westbrook was such a force downhill. That's why he was never a great shooter, but he was so dominant because of the fact that he always either had the ability to just get out of whatever he was doing by passing it to somebody, or he would just bully you downhill, get to the rim. And when guys get older and they lose that step, they lose that small step of being able to blow by defenders and get to the rim, that's when they aren't going to be as good. And what's made Curry so dangerous for so long is because he's so good at shooting the basketball, and like Westbrook, that you have to be so close defending him that's all he needs is that little step, that little step to get by, get to the rim. And then if you kind of stay just a little bit back, he'll just shoot it over you. When Curry hits 39, 40 years old, he's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able to get to the rim. He's at the rate he is, and then people are just going to stand right in front of him, and he's not going to be able to get the shots off unless they just set insane screens all game, which they do anyway. But it's going to be a lot harder to do that if all Curry has in his bag is the three. I'm telling you, man, the thing about Curry's game that has been so underrated for so long is his ability to get to the rim. And that is what no one talks about. I think Richard Jefferson's mentioned it before. A few commentators have said it recently, but like for so long, no one ever looked at that aspect of his game. But I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it does because the Warriors are about to lose Curry's like end of his greatness. Like you said, it's almost over. Butler's old and not as good anymore, but he can still give you 25. Draymond's old and doesn't really do jack outside of defense and passing. So it's like you need something else. You need something else. I mean, it was different when you had Durant and Curry and Clay and then Draymond. But with Butler, Curry, and Draymond, it's not enough. It's just not enough. They need something else. As much as I love Jackson Davis isn't enough at center. He's not. And Looney, I mean, Looney was not as good anymore. I mean, let's face it, Looney was not as good, as he was in the championship window that they had before. He's not as good now. He's essentially just a rebounder. He can't really score at all. So it's like at least before Looney had like some offensive game, he has basically none now. So I don't blame them for just letting him go. But at the same time, it's like they don't have a good center. I mean, the Warriors, if they just keep it the way it is, they're not going to win. They're not going to win any more than what they did last year. They're going to go like 48 and 37 or something like that. They'll be like the 6th or 7th best team in the West, losing the first or second round. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to do any better than that.
Jeffrey, they're just sitting here doing nothing.
It's just they should make a move. They should make a move. I agree. Not with Butler or Curry or Draymond, but make a move for something else, somebody else.
Yes, like trade somebody, do something. You know what? I'm going to stop this and we're going to move on because I'm getting mad because this is ridiculous. Like, listen, I know people are saying, Austin, why are you getting upset? This is great for your Nuggets. It's one less competition. Listen, I love the Nuggets.
Austin
Always will.
respects Curry
Always.
like we all do.
Yes, thank you. I respect Curry. I respect Draymond and Jimmy Butler and their talents. They're one of top 75 greatest players ever, and I just don't want to see this get wasted. Listen, I know people say, well, this will be good for the Nuggets, but it's also bad for the Nuggets because guess what? When you beat Golden State, it's almost like you beat
It doesn't mean
a
as much.
Curry. Exactly. Like I want the best. Like you want the best competition because as a competitor, you want to know that you beat the better team, that you're the better team without a shadow of a doubt, no excuses. But let's move on to Houston before we go down another rabbit hole. Daggone it, Golden State. Well, Houston had a busy free agency. Jeffrey, they were like they were busy. I mean, so let's start this laundry list. They re-signed Steven Adams, Aaron Holiday,
Jeff
Jeff
Green
Green,
is still hanging around. Oh,
Jamari Smith Jr., Deshaun Tate, Fred VanVleet agreed to a 2-year extension. They added Capella and KD and Dorian Finney-Smith. Departures: Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Jock Landale, Cam Whitmore. So there's obviously a lot to get to with Houston here. They lost a lot of their core pieces, but they gained a future Hall of Famer, maybe one of the 15 greatest players to ever grace the floor, in Kevin Durant. And they also re-signed a lot of players. So, Jeffrey, I'm going to ask, what what does this message give you? Is this a message Houston is trying to win now? Because obviously, with a move with Kevin Durant, it almost seems like Houston's selling out. Like they feel they can win the West now. They can win a title now. Is this the vibe you're getting? Or what do you think?
yeah, I would say overall yes. Like I don't know if it's enough. I mean, the more I look at it, though, I mean, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. I mean, they were good last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be good. It's
They were
just
they were ahead of schedule
yeah.
because not to cut you off, Jeffrey, but here's the thing: Houston was predicted to finish 13th in the West last year. They finished second. That's how ahead of schedule they were. So to
That's
me,
the
that's
thing
where
too. I
I'm just
think
kind of like,
because of the fact that they finished ahead of schedule is why they made these moves.
mm-hmm,
Because if not, if they
mm-hmm,
had to finish like 8th in the league last year, I think they kind of maybe would have just kind of sat on what they had still with the young talent, all that. But it's because of the fact that they were really good last year that, hey, we'll get Kevin Durant and try to just win it right now. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the right move. I mean, you can look at it a million different ways, but it's like with Curry and all these other older stars, Durant's eventually going to decline. I don't know when. I mean, Durant's defied odds too. I mean, I don't know if it's better training equipment, players are taking better care of themselves, better like healthy foods are eating. I don't know what's going on. But all I know is these guys are defying odds being as good as they are for this line. Durant, Curry,
LeBron.
LeBron, like Michael Jordan when he turned 40 was not what he was, right? Like he was still
Nope.
Michael Jordan, but let's be real, he wasn't, and I
He's a
understand
shell of
that
himself.
I understand that a lot of people say that the game was harder back then. That's an argument, like there's more physicality now. You can't get away with as much physicality. The game's different. I can kind of agree with that. I agree with that, but I don't necessarily know if for sure that's like the main reason that these guys are lasting longer because Curry runs all over the floor and he's taken so many hits in his career. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's better medicine equipment. Just you get what I'm saying? Like because like I said, these guys, I mean, Durant and Curry and LeBron are old. Like they are old now. Like legitimately. And yet they're still great. like they've barely lost a step, if you want to say it all. Like LeBron as explosive as he used to be? No, but the guy still can go out there and give you 30 and 10 and 10, which is ridiculous. And then it's like Durant, I mean, the guy, he's thin as heck, man. He's so scrawny, yet he still takes contact. He shoots everywhere. He hasn't even been hurt that much. He plays. Like he's there. I mean, and then again, Curry's just Curry. I don't know. It's crazy. But my point to say all that is that it depends on how long Durant is still what his prime or whatever you want to call it, like the end of his greatness. How much longer does he have? Does he have just 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of giving you what he's been giving you? And what I mean is that, like, when a player starts to decline, you see it. Like Durant isn't there yet, but could it be this year? I mean, we could be like at the second half of this season and Durant starts falling off. It's very noticeable when it happens. He'll go on like a 5-game slump where he doesn't score 20. It happens. I don't know. Durant, he's been incredible, but I just worry that in the Rockets' quest to win now, did they get Durant too late? I don't know. That's what worries me, because I look at the rest of it. It's like Capella, he's a good player. Dorian Finney-Smith is a good player. He's fine. Durant's elite still as of right now. Steven Adams is good. Jeff Green, I can't believe he's still in the league, but it's like whatever. Jabari Smith is a good player. I feel like Jabari Smith, though, maybe they paid a little too much for him. I think they did. I feel like it was a bit steep. I think I even tweeted something about that. But
here's the thing. The thing with that is, Jeffrey, the thing with that is he was just starting to show his abilities.
Yeah.
And I think they compensated for him, because they were like, oh, we don't want to lose such a young talent. And it's just like he's just starting to get good in strides. And it's just like, I'm with you. Did they pay too much too early? Could they have gotten a little cheaper, maybe gotten 80, 70 million, maybe talked him down a little bit, be like, hey, you're still young, you can come back around and get your bread? Because it's a 5-year extension, so that's like a super rookie max, I think is what they called it. So, which I don't know exactly what that means, but a bunch of gibberish. But I just wish Houston would have talked him down a little bit and just been like, hey, can you take a little less? Like, we know you're growing and we see great flashes. You've shown us all year, but can you come down a little bit, help us out here? Because as you see, they paid Deshaun Tate. They gave Van Vliet another 2 years and more money. So Houston is it's interesting. Go ahead.
It's interesting too, because now they have this weird mix of old and young. Van Vliet, he's been in the league a while. I mean, he's not like old, but Van Vliet's been in the league a while, so he doesn't fit the young core or whatever. Durant's obviously definitely not, because he's 37, 36, whatever. They got Steven Adams, who's been in the league forever. Jeff Green again, and then you've got like Jabari Smith, who's your young guy. Again, I feel like they overpaid for him. I think you can look at it one of two ways, kind of like you said. They saw him getting better, so they kind of trying to be ahead of the curve. Like, hey, we'll pay him now because we know that he's going to be worth this much 2-3 years from now. And then other teams aren't going to be able to get him because we're already paying him what they would have wanted to pay him 2-3 years from now, which I get. But just say he doesn't pan out and is that good, then you're paying this guy this much extra money, and he's not giving you this much production, and that's where you get into issues. So I don't know. It all depends on how good Jabari Smith becomes, whether that deal ends up being good or not.
Kind of jumping the shark, so to speak. I mean, kind of looking at this, we kind of like the departures from Houston. They lost Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, Jock Landale they released, and Cam Whitmore traded to the Wizards. I mean, they lost a great defensive player, Dillon Brooks. I mean, he's another guy. He's not going to score completely and go bananas, but he's a dog on defense. He's annoying more than anything, Jeffrey. Like even in Memphis, he was annoying. You just wanted to hit him upside the head, like that, and just tell him shush. That's how
I
annoying he
honestly
is.
think
Jalen
that's
Green.
why Dylan
I
Brooks
mean,
keeps getting traded.
because he's annoying.
Yeah, like I think. Like I don't know. I don't know anything about Dylan Brooks, but as good of a defender as he is and can be, you would think that he'd be sticking around at places more. But maybe he.
Of value.
I don't know.
And I mean, look at Jalen Green. I mean, he was starting to show his superstar potential.
I was a bit
But
shocked
here's
they
the thing.
got rid of Jalen Green, but I know why they did.
I was
To
too.
get Durant. But I mean, maybe they felt that Jalen Green is more replaceable, I guess, than like Jabari Smith. Because it seems like with guards these days, it seems like teams feel like, hey, we can replace a good guard a lot easier than we can replace a 6'10" guy that can shoot and do everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's why like teams value the Chet Holmgrens and stuff so much. It's like Jalen Green's a good guard. He's a really good guard, but it's like the Rockets are like, well, we've got all these other players that can probably add up to what Jalen Green is by himself.
I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, we'll see where Houston goes on this. I mean, with this move, Jeffrey, let me ask you: is it championship or bust for him now?
I would probably say yes, because I think that's kind of what they're aiming for with all this. But I don't know if they're championship worthy or they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. I mean, they were good last year. And I respect, that they didn't overpay for Durant per se. Like I think they did a good trade. I don't think it was like the Suns where the Suns just gave away everything for Durant, and that's why the team sucked. I think the Rockets, because Durant's a little older, all that. I think they were able to get a good deal out of it, which is what I said in my video short that I made a while back on the trade. I said there that I feel like the Rockets didn't overpay for Durant. I felt like that it was a pretty solid trade overall. But now it puts them in, we got to win now. And, to potentially win a title. And right now it's very competitive with the Nuggets and the Thunder. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Rockets going to be really good. I don't know about championship material, but they're going to be really, really good. These moves weren't bad. They weren't bad. It's just we're going to have to see if it works out or not.
So, speaking of championship material, the team that was 48 minutes away from winning the whole thing over the OKC Thunder, the Indiana Pacers, and the news broke Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles in Game 7, which, that's heartbreaking as it is to tear something, but then to tear it in maybe the biggest game of his life that he'll maybe ever get a chance to play, and kind of ruined Indiana's season for next year because Tyrese Halliburton's out. So they re-signed James Wiseman on a 2-year deal, Jay Huff from Memphis. But their biggest departure, Miles Turner, Jeffrey, a guy who's been with the Indiana Pacers for almost 10 years, gave his heart, his soul to the team. Amongst all of the trades and everything else of rumors, he always stuck his nose to the ground, and he just left after being 48 minutes away from a title. This was the most shocking news I think I've seen in a long time since the Luka trade. Jeffrey, what do you make of all this?
Yeah, nothing's as shocking as the Luka thing because that was absolutely nuts. But I get your point. Like this is, up there as one of the crazier moves. I feel like what happened here is that, because the Pacers, they're right there, they're really good, and they've got young talent. They see that cap space. It's brewing eventually because you've got young guys like Benedict Mather, and he's I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but like he's on that cusp. He's really solid. He's giving you a lot of points off the bench. Or they eventually gonna have to give him a big extension. You've got your Nembhard, your Nesmith. What are they gonna do with all these guys? One of them's gone. Whether it's Mather, Nesmith, Nembhard, I don't think it's gonna be Nembhard, but like Nesmith. or Matherin. Like I
Somebody's
just don't
gotta
see
go.
how they can keep all of those guys once they are going to demand more. And then you look at, you're paying Siakam an insane amount. Halliburton's worth a ton. I don't know, man. I mean, Miles Turner, he would have been paid a lot of money, and he's older. Like you said, he doesn't really fit in with the timeline of the rest of the team. And I just feel like maybe they felt that he gave everything that he possibly had, and maybe he's going to start declining. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of the way I took it. I hate it because Miles Turner, again, I don't like when this stuff happens. I don't like when guys that have been with a team for so long leave. I hate it. Kind of like with, Klay Thompson. It sucks. But at the end of the day, I do see why they did it. I don't think it's going to make the Pacers a lot worse because they do have a plethora of bigs that can contribute beyond Siakam. But the problem is I just don't know if all the bigs like Tony Bradley, Thomas Bryant, all that can give you enough of what Miles Turner did. Because Miles Turner was very, very solid. But, he's older, doesn't really fit the timeline, I guess. I don't know.
And here's the thing with this, Jeffrey. He's going from a team in Indiana that was just 48 minutes away from winning the whole darn thing. And I know and I just wonder, Jeffrey, was Tyrese Halliburton tearing his Achilles? Was he originally going to stay? And then once that injury happened, he was like, okay, win, lose, or draw, I'm out of here. Like, because we're going to take a couple steps back. Do you think that's a possibility at all? Because I know some guys get the mindset of, like we said with the Celtics, they're starting to blow it up. And maybe they wouldn't have blown it up, like you said, if Tatum hadn't gotten hurt. So maybe that was what Miles Turner was thinking. I had my crack at it. Let me go over here in Milwaukee with Giannis and see if I can't make something happen. What do you think?
I think that is highly probable. I feel like with Tatum's injury, Halliburton's injury, which, speaking of Halliburton's injury, it is insane how it feels like deja vu all over again with the Pacers. You had Victor Oladipo's injury that tanked them then, Paul George's injury, now Halliburton. It's been unfortunate for the Pacers. They've had so many injuries to key players, bad moments, that it just feels like a Stockholm syndrome. Or the Mandela effect, whatever you want to call it. It sucks for Indiana because, they were so close. I really feel that if Halliburton hadn't have gotten hurt, sorry, Thunder fans, but Indiana would have won the series. They would have won the series. That's how well they were playing. And Halliburton getting hurt, it ended any chance they had. And I agree that's probably why they got rid of Turner.
And here's the thing too, Jeffrey, is before we move on to our next team, the LA Clippers, which they've had a pretty interesting offseason, free agency so far. I just think with Tyrese, the Pacers are just cursed. They can't have nothing nice. First Oladipo, then Paul George, and now Tyrese Halliburton. Like the basketball gods are like, here, Indiana, you can go to the finals, but it's going to cost you in the process. And it's just like, can they not catch a break? Like, come on, Indiana. Like I just feel bad for the Pacers. They can't catch a break. But
on to the LA Clippers. It sucks.
Now on to the LA Clippers. And another one of them teams, Jeffrey, who have potential with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Could they compete with the Thunder out west? Maybe. They re-signed James Harden. Nicholas Batum's coming back. They added John Collins via trade, Brook Lopez, but they traded Norman Powell and Drew Eubanks released. Jeffrey, what's the vibe the Clippers giving you here? Because Brook Lopez,
old.
Let Norman Powell go. And here's the thing with Norman Powell, Jeffrey. I know you had this rant once before, but Norman Powell is just a solid player. You
remember my conversation on that. I was like, Norman Powell is one of the most underrated players in the NBA
Yes,
that
he's solid.
nobody talks about. He gives you 20 a night, sometimes more. He's a good.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't see anyone ever like on Twitter saying, "Yeah, Norman Powell, that guy, he is a good player." It's just like he exists.
He's
You
a
know what I'm saying?
monster.
Like people forget when he was on the Raptors, like how much he contributed to that team. Like he's a good player, but nobody talks about him at all.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, and the Clippers sent him off to Miami. And here's the thing, looking at what they've done, adding Brook Lopez and adding John Collins, Jeffrey, with adding Collins and Lopez, two bigs, who could play defense, but Lopez could shoot the three. Did that make the Clippers any more scarier out west, or them losing Powell was that enough for you to downgrade them? Because some people thought the Clippers could win the West last year. I remember you telling you don't be surprised if they do if Kawhi's healthy. I mean, what are the Clippers telling you? Like, what do you think of this?
I don't know. I guess they feel that with Harden, Leonard, you know, like that the guards and wings are fine, and they want to be better down low. I guess like the bigs. I guess they feel, you know, that these moves are gonna work. I mean, the problem is that Lopez is old. I mean, he's been good for a long time, but he's old. You know, and John Collins, he's not old, and he's good. Like he's a good player. It's just John Collins has never contributed to great basketball teams. So it's like, you know, I don't know, with him being surrounded by better players, is that going to make him better, or is that going to make him less of a factor?
Well,
you know, so it's kind of interesting with him. Go ahead.
Real quick, Jeffrey, I just want to say he was a part of the Atlanta Hawks team that went to the conference finals in 2021 with Trae Young. So he has been a part of a winning team, if you'd like to call it that. But go ahead.
That's fair, definitely fair. But overall, he hasn't really contributed to winning basketball, like legitimately. Besides that year, I forgot about that season. But I mean, looking back at that, is fluky though, because the Hawks mostly have been trash. I mean, I'm sorry, but they haven't really been that good. So, I mean, basically what I mean by that is like John Collins is going to be going out to the Clippers, and he's going to be like the fourth best player. You know what I'm saying? Third, if you're lucky. And I'm just interested to see how that works. Like, is he going to be well next to Harden, next to Leonard, or is he going to just kind of just be there? Is he not going to be all that much of a factor? That's what I'm interested in. And plus Lopez again. I don't know how much more he has left in the tank. I think overall, I guess it's a slight win here to get these two bigs to make their front court better. It's, I guess, but I mean, I think the Clippers are just going to be good again. They're going to be like a 4 or 5 seed in the West. They're going to be really good. They're just not going to win it all. I mean, this isn't enough. I don't think.
Well, here's the thing, Jeffrey. You want to talk about their crosstown rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers, who are always the top of conversation, whether that's with LeBron on the team, Kobe, always the topic of conversation. And the Lakers, what have they done to help LeBron? What have the Lakers done to help LeBron and Luka bring the title back? They added Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton. Womp. Take it away, Jeffrey. Have fun.
I mean, Anthony Davis is better than both of them combined. So, I mean, I've talked a lot of flack about Anthony Davis over the years, but when he's healthy, he is a really great player. DeAndre Ayton only plays well when a contract's coming up. Like, other than that, just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the effort's not there.
I always felt Jeffrey, that there was another gear that he could have progressed to when he was at Phoenix. and he never did.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I'm sorry, but I really feel the biggest thing that held the Suns back when they played the Bucks that year, in the final or
You're about ready to
Western
the NBA
Conference
Finals.
Final or just whatever in the playoffs that year. That the year they made the run
The NBA Finals.
was the NBA Finals. That year, to me, it was DeAndre Ayton. He wasn't good enough, and Chris Paul's his age, yes, but I think it was more DeAndre Ayton because DeAndre Ayton just wasn't good enough. And I understand that it's hard to say for him to go out there and perform at such a high level when you're going up against Giannis and Brook Lopez. Like I understand that, but he's never gotten into a better gear. And I don't think yet again for the 80th time for people out there, and they're going to be talking about it for a billion years on the sports networks later this fall. This is not enough for LeBron to win a title. No, it's not. So
here's the thing, Jeffrey. DeAndre Ayton, my problem with him is his lack of effort. Like,
yes,
dude, you're in the NBA Finals. You know how many people would kill to be in that spot? It took Chris Paul almost 20 plus years to get one crack at it. Jeffrey. Think about that. It took Chris Paul almost a lifetime of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears to get one crack, just to get one chance at it. And DeAndre Ayton's acting like this is an everyday dang opportunity. And that ticked me off because he didn't scrap. He didn't get down on the floor for any loose balls. He was just like, oh, okay, well, you can have it. And that ticked me off. Do you know how hard it is to make it to an NBA Finals? To get there, let alone winning it, how hard it is to get there. It takes a lifetime of work. Some players are lucky and get there multiple times in their career, like Steph Curry, like LeBron, like Kevin Durant. They're very lucky. But look at Russell Westbrook. He's only been to one finals in his career. And some people say he's the greatest point guard to ever grace our presence. And he's only been to one finals in his career. Do you know how hard it is to get back to that?
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton is acting like it's nothing. Okay, my apologies. I mean, you got me angry for a second.
No, you're good. I mean, I have the exact same frustrations with DeAndre Ayton. Like I said, that's why I said what I said earlier. I feel like he only plays hard when a contract's coming up. It's frustrating because, again, like you said, most of us, just regular folks that watch the game, if we were given that opportunity to play on the big stage in the NBA Finals or just in the NBA at all, we would be giving it 1,000% every time we step on the floor, like a TJ McConnell. You know what I'm saying? And like, just DeAndre Ayton is just disappointing. He's a disappointing player. He has all the talent and the abilities in the world. He's like Bam Adebayo, but way worse. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just not it. And again, it's so annoying because every time you turn on sports, network, news, whatever, what are they saying? Oh, the Lakers. Is this their No, it's not. Okay, it's not. DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes is never going to be a great player. He just isn't. He's one of those guys that the tools are there, the talent is there, but he's not. He's just not great. So the Lakers, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be good, but they're not going to win at all. So that's my thoughts. So we got 2 super chats here from Caden coming back with a $5 super chat. He says, forget about the NBA offseason because Ohio State and Georgia are going to slaughter teams this season in college football. Well, I will agree that I will be excited when this part of the offseason is over. I always love when college football and NFL are on its way back around the corner. So definitely this kind of just fills the void for right now. But definitely excited for not for Ohio State and Georgia to slaughter teams, but for college football to return. And our other super chat from Caden, $5 super chat. He says, Austin, Ohio State versus Louisville is officially going to happen in 2029, and it's going to be a bloodbath in Louisville's funeral. So there you go. There you have it, Austin.
So, Jeffrey, this was a recent team we did a video on, the Memphis Grizzlies. And this was one we talked about. You know, now that free agency is kind of, won't say things are getting finalized. So it looks like Jeffrey, they re-signed Jaren Jackson to a 5-year extension. So Jaren Jackson's sticking around. You know, that was one of the things we talked about. We talked about in the video of they got to pay Jaren Jackson. They got to pay Ja. If they feel like those are the two that they want to build around. And Jackson, I mean, not Jackson. I see Jackson on the screen. I'm calling you Jackson. Jeffrey. There we go. Looks like Cole Anthony and KCP are staying in Memphis. And Ty Jerome and Jock Landale. Their departures are Jay Huff, Luke Kennard, and Desmond Bain. We've kind of touched on that. But now that the dust is kind of settled, Jeffrey, what do you think about KCP and Cole Anthony? Memphis keeping them there for now. What's this all tell you? Now that the dust is kind of settled, Memphis is like, we like these two and we want to keep them. We just paid Jaren. We're good on him. Like what do you think? Because that was an interesting talking point we had in our recent video we talked about, which go check it out on either one of our channels. Great stuff. But we thought these could be trading pieces, but apparently Memphis is like, bring them on. We want them here. What do you think, Jeffrey?
I mean, I was a little bit higher on the Grizzlies making that trade if they were going to use them as trade pieces, kind of like we said in that video. The fact that they're not, it seems. I mean, Memphis is not going to be bad. I mean, with Ja and Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson, and then all of this, like, you know, like you got the meat, and then you got some potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some solid players like Ty Jerome and Cole Anthony,
and you got your veggies. You kind of got your little veggies there, like your little veggies, Jeffrey, like your carrots and celery, like Cam Spencer and Santi Adam, or however you say that. Kind of your, like you said, it's kind of like your meat, potatoes, Jaren Jackson, and that. Go ahead. I went off on my own analogy. Go for it.
Yeah, you're good. Absolutely. Like absolutely. I mean, you're right. Like they got some veggies too. The problem is that I feel like because like Desmond Bain was kind of their third guy, you know, ish. Zach Edey could become that if he keeps getting better. But you got Jaren Jackson, you've got Ja Morant, and then that's kind of about it. Like Edey again could like kind of like what the Thunder they're wanting it to be the big three. You got Jalen Williams, you got SGA, and then Chet. Like if Chet can catch up with those two, like he's getting there, but like the Thunder bench is why they won with their 2 stars, and then Chet was good, you know. Whereas Memphis, it's like you've got Ja, you've got Jaren, and then Edey, and then it's like, it's fine. It's like it's fine, but it's not enough to win a title. And I feel like if they use some of those pieces that they got in a couple draft picks to get, you know, you mentioned Durant in that video because he was the big name at the time, but somebody of that caliber, maybe Memphis could have made a run here. But it kind of just seems like right now Memphis wants to see what this will do and then maybe make a move next year. Because they don't have to right now because Ja, Edey, and Jaren Jackson are all young. They're not old by any means. It's not like, you know, you got to make a move right now. Maybe they want to see what this will do, you know, and then make a move later. So it still could work out for Memphis, but they're kind of maybe in wait-and-see mode right now. We got another $5 super chat from Cade. He says, Austin is going to cry about Ohio State beating the living heck out of Louisville when I warned him. Yeah, he's too dumb to listen to me. Honestly, the more and more Caden is coming with these comments, I do want to see an Austin-Caden debate. Again, if Caden can stick around, I don't know when we're going to be wrapping up because we are going longer than expected, but it's always so fun talking about this stuff. But if Cade's still around at the end, if Austin feels like debating him, we'll see. But if not, we'll do it next show. I want to see an Austin-Caden debate. I know it'll be some entertainment.
But our next team, Jeffrey, the Miami Heat, a team, you know, they didn't re-sign nobody. but they added Fontecchio, Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell. They lost Kyle Anderson, Caleb, and Duncan Robinson. Here's the thing, Jeffrey. Miami, to me, we talk about those teams that are not good, but they're not bad. Miami's kind of stuck in mediocrity, I think. And these moves kind of symbolize that of we're not going to be good, we're not going to be bad. We're just going to be decent because the East is so bad. I mean, like, and here's the thing too, Jeffrey, and it's just like Miami, they made that trade for Butler a couple years ago because they thought they were on the cusp of winning another one. Now they're just kind of like almost in backpedal, rebuild mediocrity mode with Tyler Hero and Bam. What do you think about this? Do you think? But then when they trade for Norman Powell, it seems like they're trying to build something again out east. Like, help me understand this here, Jeffrey. Maybe you can give me a better understanding.
I feel like, and this might be the dumbest explanation in the world, but honestly, I feel like Eric Spoelstra knows that for his job to be safe, the team can't be trash. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if Miami kind of wants to tank, which they've lost their veterans and their star players of the last few years recently. All they have left, like you said, is Bam and Tyler Hero. It's like it feels like Spoelstra, which again, I don't know how much between Pat Riley and Spoelstra. I don't know the dynamic there. I don't know if Pat Riley said like we're tanking, your job's safe. I don't know, but it just feels like if Miami fell off a cliff and they're going like 20-63 or 20-62, whatever, an 82-game season, that maybe Spoelstra would get fired. And it's like Spoelstra knows that as long as Miami is competitive, his job's safe, probably. Again, it might be the dumb explanation, but it kind of just seems like you said that Miami's stuck around the play-in right now. That's where they're at. They made the one big run to the finals when they made the play-in, when they still had Jimmy Buckets. After that, it's like, now they're just stuck making the play-in, and they're not going on runs anymore. They're not. That's not happening again right now. So, I mean, Kevin Love, he's old. Kyle Anderson, he's a weird player. He doesn't shoot well. He has this funky looking shot. He's a weird player. Duncan Robinson leaving, that kind of sucks. But I mean, Davion Mitchell, he's got some potential, but he is short though. And then Norman Powell, I like Norman Powell. The Heat have Khalil Ware. They've got some young talent that they kind of want to see how that's going to progress. And then they're just going to probably be like a 9 or 10 seed. That the Heat right now are just stuck in mid, and that's kind of like for Spoelstra, that's fine. As long as his job's fine and the Heat can kind of slowly build again, then that's fine. Because, I mean, Spoelstra can coach for another 15 years. I just don't think he wants to leave Miami. And if the Heat tank, he could lose his job. So that's my thoughts.
I mean, it's going to be interesting for sure. But our next team up on the list, the Milwaukee Bucks, and they had a busy offseason. They're having a busy offseason in free agency. And obviously the addition of Miles Turner, they added Gary Harris, departures, Brooke Lopez, Pat Connaughton, that name. And the biggest shocker of them all, Jeffrey, is they waived Damian Lillard. And then they brought all these pieces back for Giannis. But here's the thing, Damian Lillard did hurt his Achilles, right? Understandable. But you still have to pay him all of his contract, Milwaukee. What is wrong with you? And here's the thing. And they're trying to say, we're trying to help Giannis win now. No, you're not. You're getting rid of a top 75 player, and you're saying we're trying to help Giannis win? You were trying to keep him in Milwaukee, and you just want to up and do that to somebody? For living Christ, Jeffrey. Like, if I'm trying to help you win, I'm just going to get rid of your best player and say, here, we gave you all these gold pieces, have fun. And we even brought in Miles Turner. Milwaukee, you're making it easier for him to ask for a trade. Stop that. No more super teams, please. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
I don't understand why they waived Damian Lillard because they wanted him. Like they're the ones that added him. You know, it's not a situation where like you drafted Lillard at the Bucks and now his career's winding down. No, like the Bucks specifically sought out Damian Lillard when he left the Trailblazers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and yet now less than 2 years later, you get rid of him. I mean, I don't really get that. You know, again, you traded for him, you wanted him, and then now it's like, okay, whatever. I get the injury, I understand it, but see, that's the risk you take signing an old player. I mean, I've been the one complaining for years since my channel started 3 years ago, and even way before I ever had a YouTube channel. I've been complaining for years about Damian Lillard. I mean, one of the most undervalued, underutilized players ever. Because the thing is the guy was so good for so long at the Trailblazers, and he did nothing outside of like the one run. And then, you know, now he's older, and like that's when a team makes a move for him, the Bucks, and it's like now, you know, his problem's about done, and we don't know if coming off this injury. And Damian Lillard has suffered a bad injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he going to be as good? Probably not. So it's sad. It's sad that his career, you know, the only way that he's ever going to be able to have a shot for a title is if he goes to a team like the Celtics, you know, or maybe the Warriors, something like that. And maybe, you know, once Tatum gets healthy, or with the Warriors, maybe that would be enough. You know, I don't know. You know, it's just Lillard's career is winding down, and this injury is accelerating that. It sucks. It freaking sucks. But I don't like the Bucks just getting rid of him like that because you traded for him. It's just it stinks, but whatever. I mean, I feel like you said, the Bucks think that these moves are great, but I mean, most of it's like, just whatever. Like Taurean Prince, okay, he's whatever. Jericho Sims is whatever. Gary Trent's fine. Bobby Portis, he's been there for a long time. He's fine. I don't know, man. Miles Turner, it's a good ad, but is he better than Lopez? I mean, legitimately, I don't know. I mean, he's
Jeffrey. It's almost like a wash, basically. Miles Turner and Brook Lopez is basically just swapping players.
It's not. They're not better than what they were. Losing Lillard, they're going to be worse unless they make a trade for somebody big, which I don't know. I don't know.
And here's the thing. They're talking about wanting to build a championship roster for Giannis. And, don't get me wrong, Gary Trent, those teams, those players are really solid. But like you said, Jericho Sims, Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter Jr., those are kind of okay, cool, have fun with it. And it's just like, I just don't know what Milwaukee's doing. And the Damian Lillard trade, like you said, they sought him out. Giannis specifically asked, I want Dame in Milwaukee.
And then they fired that coach after 30 games or whatever because they said that, he wasn't working with the team or whatever. Like on defense. You remember that guy? Like, I remember the game. But, like, they fired him after, like, 30 games.
His name was Adrian Griffin, Jeffrey. They were like
Adrian Griffin,
8. They were like 36-8 and first out East. And then after
what even
that,
is that? Like, they get rid of him, and then they've been worse ever since. It's like, what even was that, man?
Mm-hmm. I don't
Honestly,
know.
The Bucks shouldn't have got rid of Budenholzer. Why did they get rid of him? I mean, to me, I just think the Bucks are just screwing up. I think they're making bad moves, and yeah, eventually Giannis is going to get frustrated and he'll leave probably.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this too, Jeffrey. I mean, next team on the list, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's talk about the T-Wolves next. They re-signed Joe Ingles, Julius Randle, Naz Reid. They didn't
the only big loss,
but they lost.
They kill Alexander Walker. That's it. That's the only big loss.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing too, Jeffrey. And the T-Wolves made the Western Conference Finals. So was re-signing Randle and Naz Reid, do you think running it back, do you think the T-Wolves have a chance again? Re-signing everybody, can they get over the hump?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that makes the Timberwolves so interesting is because they're so big heavy that a lot of teams don't match up with them. I mean, you remember who was it that they played? It was the Lakers, right? Remember, you're the one that told me when we did our previews, you were like, the Timberwolves are going to make a run, especially if they play the Lakers, because of the fact that the Lakers didn't have any bigs that were worth anything, right? So it's like, guess what happened? The Timberwolves cooked them on the glass. Like, it was absolutely, it was insane. Like, it was such a mismatch. And that's what makes their team so unique. But the problem is, like, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was one of their better guards. I mean, Conley's aging, and he's good still, but he's about at the end soon. Anthony Edwards, it still feels like there's too many games where he has to go off, and sometimes he doesn't. He's not the most consistently great player. Okay, like other players are consistently great. Anthony Edwards, there are games where that guy is the best player in the daggum league. And then there are other games where he's barely top 50. And the problem is that the Timberwolves don't have a roster where that's okay. Like, you need more support around Edwards in the backcourt. And Joe Ingles isn't that. Okay, so it's like Nickeil Alexander-Walker was their best guard next to Edwards. You know, like, Conley is still good, but he's not as dynamic as he used to be. I don't know. I think the Timberwolves are gonna, again, I feel like I'm saying the same thing for most of these teams, but like, the Timberwolves are gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna be really good, but I don't know if it's enough to win anyway.
I agree. And real quick before you get to Caden super chat, Minnesota, they kind of just paid their players and they're all coming back as were. It's basically what they did.
And they didn't keep Nickeil because of probably money.
But so we'll see. And here's the thing: losing Nickeil, how much of a downgrade is that? We'll find out as the season goes on. They may not miss him at all. But before we get to the Pelicans, though, Jeffrey, you have a super chat to read of Mr. Dan's.
So we got Caden the Diesel Freak with a $10 super chat. Really appreciate it, Caden. He says Ohio State's defense likes to slaughter offenses, and Will and D is going to lose $500 because, yes, our dear friend Will did make a bet with Dan, $500 if Notre Dame misses the playoffs. Will's giving $500 to Dan, and if they make the playoffs, then Will's fine. Still can't believe he did that, but he did. So, and Matt's Longhorns, Matthew Miller, are going to get barbecued, and FYF Sports Debate, get lost. This is my house. So, Caden the Diesel Freak is the king of my chat, according to himself. So, but you know, he's been a great contributor tonight in the chat, and definitely appreciate the super chat. So, we'll give it to him tonight. We'll give it to Caden, I guess.
So the New Orleans Pelicans, they didn't re-sign anybody, but they added Sadiq Bey, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, but they lost Bruce Brown, CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk. Here's the thing, Jeffrey. The Pelicans are the biggest what-if in the NBA I have ever seen, with Zion Williamson, with Brandon Ingram when he was there, with CJ McCollum. I mean, they're the biggest what-if. The Pelicans on paper are a top 5 seed out west. That's how good I think they are. And to my opinion, Jeffrey, I still think the Pelicans could be a playoff team because they got Zion, Jose Alvarado. They added Looney to help with the center depth, Jordan Poole to add shooting depth to the roster. I mean, can Zion – here's the key. If Zion stays healthy, I think the Pelicans can be really good. I do. I believe in the Pelicans, but that's the key. What do you think, Jeffrey?
I think what's even funnier is the Wizards. It's like, all right, okay, we got Jordan Poole, young, budding potential star. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, you know, well, we'll just trade him for McCollum, a way older player who's like still good, but I don't know, man. The Wizards are just anybody who's a fan of the Wizards. Kind of like my Hornets, you know, if you want to call them my Hornets, because I live in the state. I still, you know, I like the Celtics. I know it's weird, but I do like the Celtics. So I don't really have an NBA team. You know, my Celtics, my Hornets. I don't really care. But it is what it is. But, like for Wizards fans, like legitimate Wizards fans, and there are some that follow me on Twitter, I feel bad for you. If you're watching, I feel bad for you that your team is just garbage and the moves that y'all make, I don't get. I just don't get. You don't build anything. Like, you got Bradley Beal forever. And then it's like, all right, yeah, we're not going to do anything with him. And then when he gets kind of old and crappy, then we'll get rid of him. Okay. And like Jordan Poole, like, again, I don't get it. Since Caden says, I'll see you idiots on Thursday, last $2 super chat, presumably of the night. We appreciate it, Caden. And definitely, since you're not sticking around for the rest of the show, I don't blame you because it is getting late. We're going way longer than we thought. But again, this stuff's so fun to talk about. We will see you on Thursday. And definitely you'll be able to call in on Thursday night. And if you all said, if you want to come on, we can have that debate then about the NBA or whatever you guys want to debate.
Okay.
You can go. You guys can go off to each other on Thursday night on the Collins Show or on our next show that we do on the non-conference coming up next Sunday night maybe. So definitely a lot of opportunities for Caden and Austin to go toe-to-toe. But we appreciate it, Kate. Thanks for your contribution tonight. Thanks for your colorful comments in the chat. We appreciate it. And have a great night if you are dropping off tonight. But the thing with the Pelicans, though, because I've gone on a tirade about the Wizards and how bad they are. Pelicans, I agree with you on the what-if thing. I mean, Zion, I know people still talking about his weight and everything and all that. Zion is a good player, despite all of that.
Yes.
But there's just, again, like another gear that you just feel like Zion hasn't reached. Like, you see him in college, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Zion hasn't been a buzz. No. Like, he's been no buzz. It hasn't been like that. It's just, I feel like people thought Zion was going to do more. I did too. And it just seems like he hasn't. And then it's like, your Brandon Ingers and, that they've had some solid, like, role players, the last few years. And they've had a couple years where they've made the playoffs and made some noise. But it's just kind of all falling apart. And like these moves here, it's like McCollum's gone, Bruce Brown, and you get Jordan Poole. He's good, but Looney's old. Like, I don't know, man. The Pelicans are just – it's going to be another mid-year for them, probably. They're not going to be significantly better. Maybe Poole makes them a little better.
Maybe, if Zion stays healthy and Alvarado. But this next team, Jeffrey, the New York Knicks. So – the team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, they re-signed nobody, but they added Jordan Clarkson. They added Yusuf. Yes, and they had nobody leave, so the Knicks roster is still very much intact. They made 2 key additions, but the problem with the Knicks, though, is they fired Tom Thibodeau. And
what was that?
Brown.
Honestly, what was that? Again, what is up with the NBA and these firings? Like Adrian Griffin. What did Tom Thibodeau do wrong? Like, Michael Malone, what did they do wrong is what I don't understand. What did they do wrong? What more could you expect them to do? Coaching in the NBA is not like college basketball, okay? It's not. It's nowhere near the same thing. These guys are professionals. It is up to the players to do well. The coaches can aid them, I guess, but it's like, I don't understand what Thibodeau did to get fired. I don't understand what Michael Malone did to get fired. I know there were rumors about him in the front office or whatever being into it. I don't know. I don't really care either because I think it's all stupid. But I don't understand.
With Tom Thibodeau, Jeffrey, here's the thing. With Tom Thibodeau, here's the reports I've heard come out is the front office of the Knicks were getting frustrated that Tom Thibodeau was playing his starters almost 42 minutes a game, and that he wasn't utilizing his bench depth enough, wasn't using the bench enough. And yes, I see your face, and that's a poor excuse, right? Because he took them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, so and guess what? Worked. The Knicks bench was not the best. I mean, they kind of paid for Brunson, OG Anunoby, Cat. It's like, they're your guys. I mean, you kind of roll with them, I mean, no offense, but I mean, like if the Knicks bench was better, then yeah, okay. we'll sit him a little bit more. But I mean, think about it though. Jokic just played like 60 minutes before when the Nuggets have gone to quadruple overtime. So it's like that's dumb. Like if that's actually like the legit reason, that is dumb. Legitimate.
That's why I said I want to preface that it was reports. Like we may never know, but that was the reports. The front office was frustrated that he was playing them so long, and that's why I said reports. Like I have no insider knowledge. I only read what you all read out there. So if that is the reason, then yes, I'm with you, Jeffrey. That's stupid. Like, get a better bench. Do your job, front office, and help. Or maybe better yet, ask Brunson, ask Cat, ask OG, ask them to take a bit of a pay cut for you. Like, seriously. And here's the thing. I see Knicks Twitter adding Jordan Clarkson, and some Knicks fans are already saying, oh, we're a lock to go to the NBA Finals. Jordan Clarkson was the missing spark. And I'm like, you do realize Cleveland still exists, right? You do realize, Boston, Indiana may be down, but you do realize Orlando, you've got Orlando, you've got Toronto, it's not New York's for the taking. It's not New York's as a lock. And that's what irritates me.
Yeah.
Jordan
I mean,
Clarkson,
I'm looking at right now the New York Knicks stats, right, for the postseason. Jalen Brunson played 38 minutes a game. Cat played 35 and a half. OG played 39. Mikal Bridges played 39 minutes. Josh Hart played 36. And then Miles McBride played 19 minutes. Mitchell Robinson played 20 minutes a game. And then Landry Shamet, Cam Payne played 7 minutes a game. Precious Achiuwa played 4, and that's practically it. So, and you look at the stats. All right, Miles McBride, or Deuce McBride, whatever you want to say his name, he averaged 6 points in 19 minutes, and Mitchell Robinson averaged 5 points in 20 minutes. And the other guys are basically non-factors. They didn't have a bench. It's like if you play those guys, and we actually did see moments where he tried, and the Knicks would fall behind. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, not again, a good excuse. I mean, the thing is that the Knicks built their team, it's top-heavy. They don't have a lot of leeway. I mean, they built their roster to have 5 starters, and that's what they have in Brunson, Towns, Anunoby, Bridges, and Hart. And the thing is that Bridges, and especially Anunoby, they're able to play 40 minutes a game easily because you see Anunoby. What does Anunoby do 90% of the time on offense? He stands in the corner just to drag a defender away and let Brunson ISO. That's their offense. They designed it that way. They designed their offense to be Brunson ISO heavy, creation heavy, and for Bridges and Anunoby to sit in the corners. You got Cat, who you can pick and pop with or get him down low, and then Hart's kind of your like gadget player. They designed that offense to be that way. That's not Thibodeau's fault. Their bench stinks.
Nope.
So if they fired him for that, which again reports, but if they fired for that, stupid. Absolutely stupid. We knew their roster was great at the top, but the bench was the question. That's why nobody picked the Knicks to win it all this year. They were darn good, but you saw the limits. Their roster could only go so far. I mean, when the Pacers are bringing in McConnell and the Pacers are bringing in those type of guys off the bench, and the Knicks didn't have that.
It wears you down. Like, because you saw it. The T-Wolves Nuggets series last year. The T-Wolves just wore us down because they had the bench. And that's basically what Indiana did. They were like, okay, we know our starting 5 can match yours, but can you match our bench? No, you can't. So we're going to wear you down.
The only reason the Pacers were able to have a bench is because they've got those young guys like Nesmith and like Mathurin that haven't got to the point yet where they're demanding big contracts. The Knicks have their big contract guys. Because you think about, look at the age of guys that are on their team. Brunson, Towns, Anunoby, Bridges, and Hart. None of them are old, but they're not just newly in the league either. Like late 20s is what we're talking, mid to late 20s. So they all have, they're at their contract peaks, right? They've already
Mhm.
gotten the big contracts. Anunoby's on a big deal.
Mhm.
A lot bigger than some people think he's worth, but you got to remember the defense. Anunoby's defense is one of the best in the league. That's why he's worth what
Is
he's
elite.
worth. Towns is worth a lot. Brunson's worth a lot. The Pacers were able to do that because Neesmith is on a small contract. Matherin's on his rookie
Mhm.
contract stuff. It's different, people. McConnell, he's always been a bench player. He's one of those guys that has stuck
Mhm.
around the league forever because he gives you what he gives you. He's small, he's
He
short,
gives you great
taller
minutes.
than me, but he's short for the NBA, and he just guts it out. He guts out
Here's the
9,
thing.
10 points off the bench, and he doesn't demand a lot of money.
Here's the thing too, Jeffrey. With McConnell, he gives you his heart and soul every game, whether
Yeah.
they're winning by 20 or whether they're losing by 15. He gives you his heart, his soul. He gives you everything. You saw it in the Thunder series. You saw it throughout the playoffs. You saw it in the regular season. They were down 10 with less than 30 seconds to go against the Pistons, I think it was. And he was still out there guarding Cunningham full court trying to get a steal, even though the game was already over. That's what McConnell brings to you. And here's the thing. He asked for a little extra money last year, and Indiana was like, "You've been nothing but good to us, and you've always come in with your head down." And they gave him a little extra money. He got a pay grade. He all he did was he asked, he was like, gave him a little extra. It was team friendly, and he earned every penny of it. But here's the thing, like you said, Jeffrey, with the Knicks, you designed your roster to be this way, top heavy. And then you want to complain to Thibodeau, "Oh, why are we playing our starters 40 minutes? This is bull crap. That's why we lost." Well, guess what? Tell Brunson, tell Cat, tell Anunoby, takes less money. If you desire to win a championship, take less money. It's pretty simple.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing is that it's so frustrating because that's not a coach or anybody's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even want to blame the players because you can't blame them for wanting that much money. And I mean, Brunson's worth every penny. Cat pretty much, Anunoby pretty much is. I mean, they're darn great players, but you put it all together, and it's not enough. It's just not enough. And adding a Clarkson, that helps because it's something. Like, they're going to at least have a scorer off the bench. You know, I'm assuming that he'll come off the bench because he's basically always has his whole career. But I don't know. The Knicks, they're going to be good again next year. And with Clarkson, they'll be better, but I still don't think it's enough because they don't have enough.
Nope.
And like you said, the only way they could is if those guys take pay cuts, and they're not. I mean, they're not. I don't blame them for not, but they're not going to win a title that way. It takes two ways to win a title. You either have to have a team that has like 3 stars like Curry, Clay, and Durant that are all just insane, right? And then a Draymond-ish type of guy, and you win it that way. Or, you know, or LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, stuff like that, or Ray Allen, you know, Garnett Pierce. You get the point. You either have to have 3 just insanely great players that all fit, work, whatever, or you have to have a Pacers or a Thunder-like team. Youth. Young, but they're darn good, and there's a lot of cheap players on the team that aren't worth what they're worth yet. That's how you do it. And the Knicks have neither. The Knicks have neither because they don't have 3 just insane stars like Bosh, Wade, LeBron, and they don't have young guys. So they just stuck with what they have, and it's great, but it's not great enough. So there you go.
And Jeffrey, you bring up the Thunder, the defending NBA champions. Well, they didn't add nobody because they didn't need to, but they re-signed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to a 4-year extension.
Deserved.
Asia Mitchell returns on a 3-year deal. Jalen Williams, Jay Will, he's coming back on a 3-year deal, and Dylan Jones is going to Washington. So basically, Jeffrey, they secured their future with SGA. That's basically what the Thunder have been doing. They're like, we won a title, so guess what? Here, SGA, take some more money. I think it's like $285 million. I mean, is there anything else to talk about? I mean,
yeah. I mean, the thing is with the Thunder is that you really can't. you really can't say anything like about their team. Like if they can keep it together, then keep it together. Like don't do anything. It's eventually going to cost too much, and when that happens, they'll have to get rid of guys. But as of right now, it seems like they're good to go. I mean, when those contracts kick in, though, man, you know, like those big time contracts, they're cooked. I mean, like they're gonna
they're gonna be like Boston.
The thing that sucks is like everybody kept comparing this big three, which I don't even really think you can kind of call it that yet. I know they're already in commercials and stuff, but you know, Shea, Jalen Williams are just elite. Nah, Jalen Williams is entered that category. He's elite now with Shea. Chet's not even close to their level yet. He's just good enough, right, to pair with them. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant. Now that's completely different. That was, you know what I'm saying, like this close to winning a title back in 2012. And then Harden leaves. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, that is one of the stupidest, just most frustrating things that has happened in the NBA in the last 15 years. I remember that. I was watching the Thunder that year. I was like 8, right? Because the Celtics were my favorite. You know, when I was a really little wee lad, I loved the Celtics with Ray Allen and all them. The 09, 2010-ish era. And then LeBron, all that happened when I was a little kid. And I mean, I like those teams, but, you know, I like LeBron better then than I did now because I didn't know LeBron very well when I was 6 years old. I just saw LeBron. Like, oh, my gosh, LeBron. And then you get older and you're like, okay, I don't really like LeBron that much, but still respect his greatness. But that 2012 Thunder team, it's like that was the next thing, right? And then Harden leaves. And honestly, I know why Harden left. But I've never really felt the same way about Harden in my life since then. Like when I talk about Harden, I talk good about Harden. Harden's a really good player, but like Harden just jumps around, and it's like, dude, I don't care if it was egos with the money. I don't give a crap, man. You had that, and they could have been that way for 8 years together. It still frustrates me to this day, Austin. Like, I probably would be a Thunder fan, like you know, if they stay together. You know, again, like, that's how I like the Celtics because of the team that was together. And Harden never gave it a chance. You know what I'm saying? And all those years of Westbrook and Durant, they were so good. But it wasn't enough. You needed Harden.
Nope. And here's the thing, too. I will say about the Thunder is, like you said, Shea getting his bread, much deserved. I mean, Jeffrey, I want to ask you this, and I know we're running a little low on time. You know, this is so much fun to talk about, but it's just, there's a lot of teams to get through sometimes. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander he was scoring champion, finals MVP, conference finals MVP, NBA champion, NBA MVP. Where do you rank this past season among the all-time greats? I've heard some people say it's top 5. I've heard some people say it may be the best ever. I've heard some say it's not even top 20.
The thing is, that's recency bias. The second best ever. They won a Game 7. You know, and it took Halliburton getting hurt. It took a collapse from the Pacers in Game 5. The Thunder were fun to watch, for sure. I mean, you can point to a lot of other teams, man. I mean, what do you call those Spurs teams back in the day? That's another teams that I enjoyed watching. Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, like those teams. What do you call the Celtics squad?
Boris Diaw.
Yeah. What do you call the Celtics squad? Again, Ray Allen, Pierce, Garnett, Rondo. What do you call Bosh, Wade, LeBron? What do you call Durant, Curry, Clay, and just even the ones without Durant? What do you call all those? I mean, all those can be considered the best. Celtics, Tatum, Brown, Derek White. I mean, that they were loaded. Holiday, Kristaps, Al Horford. You know, I would not rank this Thunder championship as the best ever or best ever squad by no means. So, I mean, I definitely would not. But I mean, they were great though.
To clarify, Jeffrey, what I meant is to clarify. I was asking about Shea, his season, just his season, not the Thunder.
Okay. Yeah, I
Because some
misunderstood that. Sorry.
so what I meant by that is there's this discourse going around about
Mhm.
where do we rank Shea's season among the individual great championship seasons, because he won a Finals MVP, he won a Conference Finals MVP, he won a title, he won a regular MVP, he won a scoring title. That's what I meant, not the team itself. Not the team itself. I agree with you on that, but I'm talking about Shea himself. Like, I've heard some people tell me this is the greatest season you're ever going to watch. And then I've had some tell me this doesn't even crack the top 10. So, what I want to know from you, Jeffrey, where would you put this? I know recency bias might be a thing here, but individual seasons. Is this top
Honestly,
10?
don't even know how I could even quantify that. I mean, that's almost like a question for like its own like separate video. I'm not saying to actually go through all the research and do that. I'm just saying though, like that's how like Mark Rogers he does a great job with those like all time rankings videos where he like does the stats and like talks about he when he does those, like Mark Rogers, like he's getting deep in like the college football history and the lore and everything, all that stuff. He does a fantastic job with those videos. That's something
Mm-hmm.
like you would legit have to go through the stats. You'd have to go through like
Mm-hmm.
see like who this player had around him. Like, did this guy defy more odds? You know what I'm saying? Because like Shea had Jalen Williams, he had the bench and Chet.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like Shea was insane, but like Michael Jordan's years, some of his performances, Kobe's, LeBron,
Jokic.
like
Hit,
I don't even know how you would
you
even
can make a.
quantify that. Like, I would legitimately have to go and look at every single championship, like Bill Russell's and stuff. Like, I'd have to look at every single championship and see, and even then, I don't even know how I'd be able to quantify that. I think Shea was incredible. I think definitely top half of all like Finals MVPs, like seasons, whatever, of great players throughout NBA history. I would
Mm-hmm.
say top half for sure. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it's 15, 25. I have no idea because there's so many great players and great seasons that these teams and players have had. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea.
That's that's fair. I just wanted to get your
I
take on
think he
that
was
because that.
elite. He was fantastic. So definitely top something,
Well,
top 30, top 20, whatever.
well, and here's the thing. I just wanted to get your take on that because that's kind of. I saw it swirling around on Twitter today, and I was kind of like, I'll ask Jeffrey tonight what he thinks about that because it's a very interesting topic. I do think Jeffrey,
Absolutely.
you could do a whole no, you could do a whole nother video on that. I agree, but to finish up these last couple teams here, the Orlando Magic. We kind of touched on this in our NBA trade video, which which me or Jeffrey could put in the comments section down below. Go check it out if you want to. Um, but they re-signed Paulo Banchero, Mo Wagner's coming back. They added Desmond Bain and Tyus Jones. They lost Cole Anthony, KCP, Gary Harris. Um, Jeffrey, just real quick, we kind of touched on Orlando, but what do you think about what Orlando's done in free agency? Have they done
Yeah,
enough
like we
to make
said,
themselves? Have they done enough to make themselves a contender in the East?
hmm. Yeah, like we said in the video back uh, 2 weeks ago when the trade happened, or about a week ago. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is that clearly this move to get Desmond Bain was to be championship, worthy level team. Like it's being contention for that. That's clearly what they were doing. I said in that video that I'm not sure if it was enough. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's close. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because what they lost, Cole Anthony, KCP, Gary Harris, that's not killing you. It's not killing you to lose those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Taj Jones is it's solid, it's fine. I
He's a
think
little older.
he's a little older, but I
He's a
mean,
little, not to cut you off. Him and Cole Anthony, you're getting a little older at the point guard position, but less turnovers. So it's kind of get a little more experience. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead. My
yeah,
bad.
absolutely. So it's just it's like it's fine. The Jones brothers are fine. I mean, he's the older one, but it's fine. Mo Wagner coming back. I mean, obviously Franz is way better than Mo Wagner. Wagner. But, Mo Wagner still, he contributes. He have the brothers on the same team. Probably helps with morale. I don't know. Paulo Banchero, he's future, could be Hall of Famer if he keeps this trajectory of his career. He's playing great. So, I mean, with Desmond Bane's addition, they're going to be better than last year. I just don't know how much better. I don't know if they're going to be a top 3 seed, top 5 seed. They're going to be better. It's good to add him. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to achieve probably the goal they want, and which is like every other team, win a title. I don't know if it's enough yet, but I mean, it's not a bad move at all. It's not a bad move.
And here's the thing too: the Magic did keep their core intact. Franz, Paolo, those guys, Jalen Suggs, when he's healthy, those guys are on contract for the next 5 years. So Orlando's core is staying together. And with the addition of Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, I think Orlando is kind of like doing what Houston is doing, making a move now, knowing that the East has lost 2 of its 2 big contributors in the Pacers and Celtics. Speaking of teams out East, you've got the Philadelphia 76ers, and we're almost done here. Jeffrey, this is the biggest disappointment in history. They signed Paul George. They give Maxey an extension. Joel Embiid. All I heard is the 76ers are going to win the East and they're going to win the title, bookmark it. And what the heck happened? Wah wah. And listen, they re-signed Kyle Lowry. They re-signed Aaron Gordon. They re-signed Justin Edwards. Addition Trendon Walford. Philly, you've got all this talent and everything, but what's your excuse? Each year, Jeffrey, I keep hearing Philly say, this is our year. This is our year. You got to trust the process. We've been trusting the dang process for almost 10 years, and we still haven't got nothing. So apparently, your process isn't working. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
It's not. I mean, I made a video about this when it happened, but the Paul George thing, Paul George is old. He's old. I mean, and Paul George is not Kevin Durant, at all anymore. I'm saying, like Paul George, his prime is gone. Joel Embiid, man, wasted career. Another wasted career. I mean, the guy, when he was at his peak, was up there with Giannis. He was up there with Jokic. He was. I mean, I don't think anybody would argue that. I know there's going to be somebody in chat probably be like, oh my God, Embiid was never on the level. Yes, he was. When he was good, he was good. But you got to remember the guy, he played at Kansas in 2014. I mean, he's been in the league for 11 seasons now, and when you're a big and he's been brutalized throughout his career, I mean, he's not as healthy anymore. He's going to lose a step. Maxey, I like Maxey. We all like Maxey. He's fun. He's good. He's great. But man, the team is trash. They are trash. And yes, I love my guy Eric Gordon. Got Kelvin Sampson fired. Indiana guy from 08. But Eric Gordon is old. And Eric Gordon doesn't shoot much anymore. He's in there to shoot, but he just kind of exists. Eric Gordon is 37. And his heyday has been remember the Rockets years? He was really good then. The Pelicans,
yes.
They were the Hornets back then. He was good back then. And he was with the Clippers too. Eric Gordon, 6th man of the year back in 2017, a decade ago, he was a really good player. He you know what Eric Gordon is to me? He's like Norman Powell. Back when Eric Gordon was good, he was good, 20 plus points a game. Almost borderline all-star, but no one ever talked about him. Did you know that Eric Gordon is in the top 20 all-time in threes? That's how good Eric Gordon is. He's in the top 20. All the players above Eric Gordon on that list are Hall of Famers. Everybody knows who they are, your Kobe's, your Michael Jordans, LeBron's, Curry, Ray Allen, Harden. It goes on and on. I'm serious. Every single Durant. All of them are Hall of Famers, insane great play, and then Eric Gordon is there. It's he's in the club with the threes, and it's Eric Gordon, like, he sucked. But, like, my point to say all that is Eric Gordon was a quality player years ago. That era's gone. Same with Lowry. Okay, Lowry and Gordon, the fact they're still in the league, okay, is like, okay, it's probably more to the fact how good they used to be versus anything else. I mean, Eric Gordon re-signed with the 76ers because he tested the free agency market and nobody gave him a better deal. And you know why nobody gave him a better deal? Because why are they going to sign a 37-year-old guy that averaged 6 points a game last year? They're not. For better than the minimum. So the 76ers re-sign him. My point is that the 76ers are not getting any better. It's going to be the same old crappy team. Maxey's going to light it up. Embiid's going to keep declining. Paul George is going to keep declining, and the team just sucks. Like, it frankly is what I'm trying to say.
That's the Philadelphia 76ers in a nutshell. But this team, Jeffrey, the Phoenix Suns, they were a team that we thought maybe could have had a roster overhaul, and they kind of did. I mean, they re-signed Colin Gillespie. Like, that's going to break any news. But the additions, they added Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Nigel Hayes-Davis, Mark Williams. I mean, they made some nice additions. They got the KD situation taken care of. They lost KD. They lost
never
Tyus
traded
Jones.
for him.
They lost Tyus Jones. They waived Cody Martin. They lost Mason Plumlee. Jeffrey, the better question here is, where does Phoenix go from here? Because they got all these young assets, Jalen Green, they got Dylan Brooks, but they still got Beal's contract. They got Devin Booker, and the reports are they still want to be a contender out west. Where does Phoenix go after this?
They should have never traded for Durant. I know why they traded for Durant, obviously, but the team was better when they had the side players, you know, like your Cam Johnsons, you know, those type of guys that contributed and were consistent.
Your Mikal Bridges.
Bridges. You got rid of all that for Durant. I mean, I'm telling you, man, that's what I'm saying. The Rockets avoided that. They did not lose as much as what the Suns lost when the Suns got Durant. The Rockets did not. Like, yeah, losing Jalen Green sucks, but losing Jalen Green is not as bad as losing Bridges and Johnson and draft picks and all this crap that the freaking Suns lost when they got Durant. And as great as Durant is, Durant by himself was worse than all that. You want when you got a star, you want what you lose to be less valuable than that player. That's how you make a trade. Okay? And that's not what the Suns did. I said the second the trade dropped, you remember me, I was like, horrid. Absolute horrid. And the Suns aren't going to win jack with that. They didn't. The Rockets will have a chance. I'm not saying they will, but again, it was a better trade than this that the Suns did. Now it's like, all right, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green. I mean, Jalen Green's going to be really good. The problem is that the Suns are the window that they had when they had Chris Paul and Booker and Ayton and all that and Johnson and Bridges, they were better then, right? They were better then. That window's gone because they've blown all that up. That's all gone. All they have left is Booker because he's their guy, right? Booker's their star. Booker is their Tatum. Booker's their Doncic. But is Booker as good as those guys? SGA? Booker's, don't get me wrong, we're expecting so much from these players because of how much money they're making. I'm just saying, is Booker on the level of SGA? Is Booker on the level of Tatum? I think he's close, but I don't know if he's there. He's like this. He's like right behind. And see, the problem is that the Suns team is not good right now. So the only like an SGA type player, how he was making the Thunder make the play in and be like something when they had nothing. I just don't think Booker can do that. Remember Booker when the team was bad when he first got there, he put up 60 a game back then, and it didn't matter. Kemba did. Kemba was putting up 60 a game in the Hornets. You can be on a bad team and score. It's about when the team is good. And we saw Booker be really good when the team was good, but he wasn't able to lift it over the top either. I know Paul was old. I think still it was more Paul's age and Ayton, not being good enough. I'm not blaming Booker at all. Booker is great. He's fantastic. I just think he's a little bit behind, like the top 3 to 5 best players. Like he's right there. But now that the team kind of blows, Booker's just not going to be able to elevate that thing. Bradley Beal was another terrible addition, honestly. I don't understand that. I mean, why would you add him? Why would you add him? Bradley Beal, unfortunately, should have been added either to a team that's like right there to win it all and they just need another player, or Bradley Beal needed to be added to a team that stinks. Okay, and he's just your one good player like he already was with the Wizards. Some teams have that. Like every bad team has one player, right? Why would you add Bradley Beal to the Suns when the Suns were bad with Durant and Booker, and you add this guy that you think's your third? I mean, they were treating Bradley Beal like this was going to be a big three. Bradley Beal, those days are over. They're over, man. He's not what he was 5 years ago.
Here's the thing with Bradley Beal, Jeffrey. He's one of the best pure scorers when he's healthy. Problem is he's been injured a lot. His back, his hand, his ankles. He hasn't been able to be healthy. And that's the thing, too. With Bradley Beal, he's one of the best pure scorers. And like you said, he was supposed to be the final piece to the Big Three puzzle in Phoenix where they were going to win the title when they were 2 wins away before, when they had their Mikal Bridges, their Cam Johnsons, their Aytons, and Chris Paul was leading the ship along with Booker. But instead they made all this big commotion. And here's the thing, Jeffrey. The Suns ought to feel really lucky and blessed that they got out of this okay. Like, think about it, Jeffrey. This could have ended a whole lot worse for them than it did.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that, when looking at what the Suns did, they put themselves in such a bad situation that they literally could have become the worst team in the NBA if it had all gone wrong. So to your point, they're not that bad off, but at the same time, they're still not in good shape either. It's going to take some time to fix what they've done. The Durant trade was bad. The Beal trade was bad. Getting Green, that's a cornerstone. But the problem is now Booker's in this weird spot. You put Booker. I'm telling you, man, sports is a funny thing. It's called a window. We talk about windows, championship windows. That's why we said with Curry earlier. Booker, he's been in the league now for a while. He's not old. He's not. But he's not young.
He's not young.
And the problem is you had a guy like Jalen Green, and it's like, all right, Jalen Green, he's way younger than Booker. Like 5 years from now, Booker's going to be, and then Green's like, it doesn't fit. Okay, it doesn't fit, and that's my issue with the Suns. It doesn't fit. None of this fits right now. They have to figure out how to make this fit right now. And the only way they can do that is maybe if they can draft really quickly, like the Thunder have done. Get a Chet-like player. If that happens, and you build it that way, while Booker's still elite, or you're gonna have to make another insane trade to somehow find a way to get a third star. Not a guy like Durant who's old and worth that much, but like, I don't know, man. Like what the Pacers did with Siakam. They didn't overpay for Siakam. They didn't have to trade all that much for Siakam, too much. But Siakam, that was a good fit, a good trade.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the Suns need. They don't need a Durant. They need a guy who's really good, who's not old, who's not aging and falling apart like Beal and all that, to pair with Green and Booker,
Jeffrey,
whatever, make it work if they can. But I don't trust them to do it.
Here's the thing, Jeffrey. You realize how hard it is to find a Siakam like that? Like
that was such a perfect trade for the Pacers. It was perfect.
That's what I'm saying. That's a hard thing to find. And I don't know if Phoenix is going to find that.
And remember,
here's
the
the thing,
other
too.
trade they made too was when they got rid of Sabonis to get Halliburton.
Exactly. And here's the thing,
Two
too.
great trades, and it almost got them a title. That's the thing. Two great trades.
Yes. Here's the thing. If you play your cards right, it can go well. And for Phoenix, like, they've got some good cornerstone pieces, Dylan Brooks, and I think Jalen Green. But they got to figure out, what are they going to do with Beal? Are they going to buy out his contract like they're saying?
Beal's got to go.
just-
I would trade Beal. I would
Mhm.
trade Beal. I wouldn't just let him walk, but I would trade him. I don't know. I mean, again, you could go the draft pick route. Try to
Here's the thing,
draft a
Jeffrey.
future star, because Booker still has some time, but I don't know. I honestly
Yes.
don't know.
Here's the thing. I've heard reports that they're just going to buy out Beal's contract and eat the cap money and just be done with it. And I'm just like,
Why did they
don't
trade
do
for
that.
him? Man, that's the thing. I
Here's
just
the
don't
thing.
understand that.
Here's my thing, Jeffrey. I think they were thinking he was the missing piece, like I said once before, and it just turned out.
I thought the
It's
trade
just like-
sucked. I thought Beal was not gonna. It wasn't gonna work because he even at the Wizards, he wasn't what he was 5 years ago. Hummus makes a great point. Appreciate you being here, Hummus, and I love your comment about Dan. That's hilarious. We appreciate Dan dropping more money than Trae Young drops down. That's so funny. But he says you don't think Booker's on the LeBron trajectory, stay prime in the late 30s. The thing is, you don't know. That's what worries me, because we've seen it with Russell Westbrook, which he's kind of somewhat revitalized, but you get what I mean. Like, Kemba Walker was great until he wasn't. All right?
Mhm.
Like, the guy just fell off, man. Fell off. Some players fall off. Like, we see it, man. We see players fall off. Not everybody's LeBron. Not everybody's Curry. Not everybody's Durant. You know, I just don't know with Booker. I mean, how old is he? I mean, honestly, we've been talking about this for a while, so I'm intrigued. How old is Booker? Booker, he's 28, and he'll be 29 in another few months. That's what I'm saying. He's just in this weird. He's not young. He's not a new face of the league anymore. He's not old, but it's just like, what if he falls off in 3 or 4 years? And while the Phoenix Suns are building, right? Like, they try to do it with Green, they draft some, and they're building around Booker, and then Booker just falls off. You don't want to wait too long.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Phoenix Suns, do not wait too long, because that's what whatever the Trailblazers were doing with Lillard. Them morons. I don't know what they were doing, but they were absolutely nuts. Just sit there with Lillard for that long and do nothing with the guy.
Segue.
So, yeah, Portland, you're next. You're next on my shopping block of roasting you for whatever reason, because it's ridiculous. Like, you had one of the best players in the league with Lillard, and you did nothing with him. Don't do that, Suns, with Booker. Do not.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to. Okay, so this is what I love about Jeffrey. Is Jeffrey late night running on adrenaline is something else. So the Portland Trailblazers, we got 5 more teams to go, and then we're gonna give our winners and losers and head out of here and get to bed. Portland Trailblazers, they didn't re-sign nobody. They added Drew Holiday, which is a veteran presence, but they lost Anthony Simons and they lost DeAndre Ayton via buyout. So Jeffrey, Portland they're kind of in that middle of nowhere land themselves. They don't know whether they want to be good or bad. They're just kind of like, eh. I mean, what do you think? Does Portland want to be good, bad, or
Portland
they
got
just
Caleb Love too? They signed him to a 2-way deal, so that's noteworthy for UNC and Arizona.
Here's the thing with Caleb Love. Love the guy to death. He's electric. He can give you 35, 40 on a given night. But then what does he do to follow it up? He gives you 3 points the next night. Exactly. And here's the thing too, Jeffrey. Here's the thing. He may be a standout, brilliant player for Portland when the Lakers and Clippers and Nuggets and Timberwolves and all these big teams come to town. But how is he going to play when he plays a team like the Jazz? That's what I want to know. Not to get off on a tangent, but that's what worries me. Because Jeffrey, he may give LeBron 50 And then when they play Toronto, he'll have 7 points and just be pedestrian. And it's just like Caleb Love, like, dude, you have the ability to be a superstar in this league. And it's just like, don't be that inconsistent because that's how you get traded. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
Yeah,
About the Trailblazers
I
again.
definitely agree with you on everything you said. I mean, Clint Moses said Trailblazers, the Mariners of the NBA. I will say that the Pacific Northwest, when it comes to professional teams, lately is not been very good. I mean, the Trailblazers suck. Mariners aren't
Porous.
great. And then the Seahawks were really good in the Pete Carroll era and with early Russell Wilson, and then it fell off, and now they're trying to figure themselves out. So yeah, Pacific Northwest for professional teams not don't have the Supersonics anymore. Which guess what? What the Supersonics became, they're good. The Thunder, but yeah, like the Supersonics, I mean, don't exist anymore. So yeah, not good for the Pacific Northwest. I mean, Portland, I just don't even care. I mean, like it's like they had a great player, wasted his entire career, and that is like the biggest thing that makes me not give a crap about a team. Like when you waste a man's career. I've talked about Damian Lillard for 10 years. Like I said, even before my YouTube channel, and yeah, they didn't do anything. So I mean, it was cracking me up. You would have these Trailblazer like YouTube channels, right? They were like, "Oh, look at the Trailblazers! They just got a guy in the draft to build around Lillard." And I'm like, "Yeah, Lillard's how old, buddy? 33." Like, are you kidding me? This little pup's 19. You think that yeah, okay. Yeah, it's really gonna build around. Like by the time the guy hits his prime, Lillard's gonna be in the retirement home. Like, are you absolutely kidding me right now? Like these people are just brain dead if you believe that. Like you can say that back when he was 28-ish, like Booker. That's why I'm saying like right now the Suns need to figure it out. Are we gonna trade to get more whatever around Booker, or are we going to go the draft route? Because you can kind of still go the draft route if you want it, but you got to do it right now because he's 28. He's not old. But like I said, the Trailblazers just wasted Lillard's entire career, and I got no use for that. So next time they get a star player, don't waste his career. If you do something with it, I'll change my tune on Portland. But, yeah.
So the Sacramento Kings, Jeffrey, they're the definition of give us something good, we'll figure out how to ruin it. I thought the Kings were back up and they were going to have a fantastic resurgence. Here
What
come
happened?
the Kings again with Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown. Yes, the Kings were looking good. They took the defending champs to 7 games. Even though they lost, they had a bright future, I thought. I'm like, the Kings are looking good for the future. Next thing you know, they fire their coach. De'Aaron Fox gets traded to San Antonio. And Sabonis and all these teams is just like Zach LaVine and DeRozan. It's just like, what in the world are you, Sacramento? You had something good and you gave it away. And their additions, Drew Eubanks, Dennis Schroeder, Dario Saric. I mean, they lost Jake LaRavia and Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, nothing significant of note. I mean, they are the definition, Jeffrey, of don't let them have anything good because they don't know how to handle themselves.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense, man. Like I was pulling for Sacramento. It's like they always were bad. Like my entire life, like you had of all the California teams, like the Warriors were always great. Basically, my entire life with Curry and Clay and Draymond. The Lakers had Kobe and Shaq, and then LeBron, whatever. And then the Clippers, you had Blake Griffin, and all that. Like they've had their moments.
Chris Paul,
and
DeAndre
Chris
Jordan,
Paul,
Lob City, Jamal Crawford.
Yeah. So like all that, and then it's like the Kings, like they're like the baby brother of whatever of that is. Like they were just bad.
Boogie Cousins.
Oh yeah. So that like the Kings were
Boogie Cousins. That was their claim to fame. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean you're 1,000% right. And then the Kings, it's like they sucked, and then finally, like, you got Sabonis and Fox, like Monk, and just like they had something, man. And then it's like Fox is gone. De'Aaron Fox is gone. I mean, not as crazy and stupid as
Luka.
Doncic, because again, nothing is, but still, like, all right, De'Aaron Fox was your guy. I mean, remember they called him Mr. Clutch for a while because he was hitting all the big shots in the big games a couple years ago, but it's like, all right, he's gone. So, I mean, now they're just not great. They're just not great. And they're going to remain that way with who they've added. I mean, what even is that? I mean, none of those guys do anything. They do nothing. So, yeah. I mean, they still have Sabonis. I mean, they're not going to be awful, but they're not going to be good.
Simple as that. Let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs, Jeffrey.
Clint Moses is correct about this. Like, pre-Lillard, sorry to interrupt on the Spurs, but Clint Moses is right on this. Pre-Lillard, Brandon Roy was good. Now, I was so young during this time that I barely, like I said, I was all Celtics, all East Coast. I didn't see a lot of the players, but I do remember Brandon Roy. Yes, you're all right. And then he got all the injuries, man. And then, like, Greg Oden. Like, everybody talks about Greg Oden. Like, what if Greg Oden was not injury prone? Because the guy was good at Ohio State. He was. They won they went, had the tournament run with all those players back then that they had, so it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, the Blazers, I mean, if they had those guys healthy and then Lillard early on, maybe, I don't know, man. Whatever. Still, they ruined Lillard's entire career, though.
The San Antonio Spurs, Jeffrey, who have treated their superstars like gold: Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Victor Wembanyama, as you like to call him, or Wembanyama, or Wemmenhammer. I forget what you like to call him, but he's a superstar, and they're treating him good, Jeffrey, because they're making additions. They got De'Aaron Fox, they had Chris Paul, but they had Luke Cornett, and they added Kelly Olynyk. I mean, they're small additions, but they're additions that needed to be made, in my opinion. What do you think of the direction of the Spurs real fast? Because we got 3 more teams and then we're done.
I mean, I feel like when looking at the Spurs, I mean, it's going to take time. They look at it that they've got solid pieces. Fox, great ad. Wembanyama. I mean, the guy is must-see TV. If he stays healthy, he's going to have a great career. Like, they've got pieces to be good. So it's like, I guess they just don't really feel like doing anything with it. Like they don't want to do, like, oh, let's get Durant. Because, again, you have to trade a lot of your young guys for that, and he don't fit the timeline. So it's like they just kind of laying low and just build. Like, we'll see what the guys do this year, how much better they are, and if not, then they'll probably make a move next year, kind of like they did with Fox to get him. I think they're fine right now. They've got a lot. Like, Fox isn't old; he's not super old, and Wemby is young, so they've got time to figure it out. So I'm okay with what's going on right
now. The Toronto Raptors, Jeffrey, we're getting down to the home stretch, the final 3. I know we said we weren't going to go more than 2 hours, but my gosh, there's a lot of things to discuss, a lot of teams, but it's okay. I'll take this one on the chin, and if Jeffrey cusses me out, it's okay. I'll take it. But the Toronto Raptors, Jeffrey, they won a title almost 5 years ago now, I think it is. Yeah, 2019.
And the whole team's
gone.
The
roster, Scotty. But here's the thing, though, Jeffrey. They're rebuilding a nice little ground up. They traded for Brandon Ingram. They got Scotty Barnes now. Luke, Pirtle. I mean, the Raptors are building something a little nice out of the young group. I do think Toronto, in a couple more years, might be a solid contender in the East. They're building a little something. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at the roster. I mean, like you got R.J. Barrett,
Mm-hmm.
Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is a weird player. You know what I'm saying? Because like he's just a weird player. I mean, he's good at stuff, but there's just stuff he isn't that good at either. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just an interesting player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
I just don't think Scotty Barnes is ever going to be a star. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's got limitations, is what I'm saying. But I think he's good.
Here's the thing, Jeffrey. They paid him like a superstar. But let me ask you, because me and you, Jeffrey, I think I can speak for you when I say this and you won't get mad. But we probably watched a lot of Florida State because we're both in ACC country, right? Louisville and North Carolina both played Florida State quite a bit. Did you think Scotty Barnes had great potential watching him with the Seminoles?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought he'd be fine. I thought he'd make the league. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like he's done better than I expected him to. Like, I feel like Scotty Barnes is one of those players that has maxed like ever potential he had. You know how you see some players, Jackson Hayes, all the potential in the world, all that, and then he just goes out there and he's mid, right? He just whatever. Scotty Barnes, you look at him in college, it's like, yeah, I see some tools there. I see, some possibility of him being a good player. Then he goes pro, and like he gives you all he's got. I mean, he's averaging 20 a game. He's a good player. He's just not gonna get better than that, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he's giving you what he's got. He's giving you every tool in the bag he has, but like his God-given abilities cannot extend any further. And granted, I haven't watched the Raptors hardly at all, but when I have seen Scotty Barnes on YouTube and on Twitter highlights, he just screams that he's maxed his potential to me.
Here's the thing, Jeffrey. He was a great defensive player at Florida State. I mean, like
he's
I think
long.
even you would. And that's what he was building his draft stock of. And Leonard Hamilton, as much as people give him crap for his latter years at Florida State, he did a great job developing Patrick Williams, Scotty Barnes, those type players. Like, he doesn't get enough credit for that. I mean, Florida State, I think, went to the Elite Eight the year Scotty Barnes was there.
That team was really good, that 2018 to 2020 era. Or the 2017, 2019, that run there, they were really, really good. Yeah, like Clint Moses said, that's what I see Scotty at. Like right now,
he's the best.
He was like their second best player, but like you said, they've added Brandon Ingram, they got R.J. Barrett. So I mean, Scotty can maybe become more of what he is. But yeah, like he does not need to be, he does not need to be the second best player on a team. Or the best. He needs to be he's like Anunoby, but Anunoby's better at things that Scotty Barnes is not at, and there's things Scotty Barnes is better at than Anunoby isn't, but they're very similar-esque players, right? They're long, great defenders, but they can't do everything, right? Like Anunoby has maxed what he can do. Like I hate to say it because I love Anunoby as an Indiana guy, and I always talk about my Indiana guy, right? Like I do Alabama, UNC, whatever. But the thing is Anunoby, he's kind of what he is, right? Like you look at his stats, he gives you 18 a game. He gives you 6-7 boards. He gives you a few assists. That's what Scotty Barnes is. They're not going to get better. To me, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing, and that's great. But they need more around him, and that's like you said, the Raptors are trying to do that.
And here's the thing too, Jeffrey. Scotty Barnes is probably the second best player on Toronto, but if you put him in a team like Denver, he's probably the fifth best player on that roster. Not that he's bad. It's just if you put him on a bad team, he's your second or he's your best player. But if you put him with a championship roster, he's third or fourth, like Clint Moses said. If you put him with the Thunder, he might be fourth, maybe fifth. Somewhere in that range.
I don't disagree at all with that.
The Utah Jazz, Jeffrey, they're another team. They're young, trying to find their way again. I mean, after trading Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, trying to find their way again. I mean, They didn't re-sign nobody, but they added Kyle Anderson, added Kevin Love, added Yusuf Nurkic. They lost John Collins, Johnny Zuzang, Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson. The
Honestly, that's a
direction.
lot of departures, though, man. I mean, John Collins, you're losing almost 20 a game from him. Colin Sexton is a good player. Clarkson's, he's bench scorer. I mean, you're losing a lot of points there, And Kevin Love's old. Like, he's old. He's not gonna get it. Nurkic is.
He's not the Kayla. He's not the Kevin Love of the 2014 T-Wolves where you count on a 25 and 20 double-double. The thing with Utah is almost Toronto again. Utah is Jeffrey is they've got Ace Bailey, they've got Laurie Marketing, they've got a lot of these young pieces.
It's young. It's going to take
they
time.
Can build around. But like you said, losing Jordan Clarkson, I think is going to losing Colin Sexton is going to be a bit of a hit. Johnny Juzang, I know they waived him. He was really good at UCLA the year they went on that run. You remember that, Jeffrey? You remember that UCLA? He was good. But Utah is like a very young team, I think, just trying to find their way again. So them losing Utah is one of the teams that are just kind of stuck in the rut. A lot of young talent, but don't know how to develop it.
They're selling out. I mean, they're getting rid of anybody that's not fitting with the system, like older, guys. Sexton's not old, but I guess they just they're what they're doing is that they're going all in with the youth and they're starting over is what they're doing. I mean, that's what they did when they got rid of Gobert. And they got rid of Donovan Mitchell. So it's like, and I even said then, like, the Utah Jazz needed another player. Like, you can't just have Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, and that's enough. And they were really good, and they were like a 4 seed in the West, but they never were able to win it all. They never were. So they just blew it up, and they're still blowing it up. Like, the Jazz are just trying to build. Maybe they're wanting to go the Thunder route and just hope they just draft a bunch of great players. Because that's essentially what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. And then the last and final team, Jeffrey, we made it home. It's been fun. But we're home now. Oh, Lord. Okay.
The Wizards, one of the worst teams in the NBA.
I know we don't pick how this list is ordered, but why do we have to end on the Washington Wizards? This is just sad. Like, this team is in purgatory. Like, they are the omnipotence of what bad. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead. My apologies.
Yeah, I mean, the Wizards, like, they had, deal forever and it's like whatever. Thomas Bryant, you remember his stint there. Like, gotta mention ex-Indiana guy. Thomas Bryant had his best stint at the Wizards, and then guess what happened? He got hurt. And he's never really been the same. Funny enough, like Thomas Bryant, like is starting to improve again, doing pretty well with Indiana. But like, I just think looking at, his trajectory, like he was averaging like 15 a game at Washington, and then he got hurt, and then they got rid of him. So it's like that wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day for them to do anything. I'm just saying, like the Wizards just a bunch of unfortunate, just rough teams.
Purgatory.
I mean, you remember they drafted that guy? Well, what was his name? He was that dude from Wisconsin. You remember that guy, Johnny Davis? You remember,
yes.
You've seen the compilations of how bad that guy's been, right? Like Johnny Davis, layups, and like the guy couldn't miss. He single-handedly beat Indiana back then in his year at Wisconsin. I remember Johnny Davis. You remember you were hitting mid-range shots all over IU. But then it's like the dude can't even hit a layup, man. Like, you're on the worst team in the league, dude, practically. There's no pressure, man. Like, there's no pressure to win games. Just shoot. Just be yourself. Be what you were at Wisconsin. I don't know. All I know is that the Wizards made bad draft moves like Johnny Davis. They drafted that guy, that weird named dude the other year, that Bilal Coulibaly or whatever his name is. I try not to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That guy, he's got potential, but man, there's some games he's rough. So I don't know, man. The Wizards just take flyers on players that just suck mostly, and like you get Jordan Poole, and it's like, all right, Jordan Poole's gonna light it up, and then they get rid of him. So, and then you look at this list, it's like the only player with a pulse that they've added practically is McCollum, and and then Cam Whitmore, like they get him, him, and I don't know,
Kelly Olynyk. Jeffrey, here's the thing. Kelly Olynyk, I mean, he was really good the year the Heat went to the finals in the bubble. I mean, he's a guy with a pulse. I mean, I wouldn't completely write him off yet, but
yeah,
the win.
Yeah.
And like Clint Moses said, the Wizards are the absolute worst. At least the Hornets announcers are exciting. Yes, that's true.
Oh, at least we got something with the Hornets. Appreciate that, Clint Moses. We got some exciting announcers. They can make garbage games seem fun. The Wizards, nothing's fun. It's all just rain and doom and gloom.
But that was all the team's biggest moves, NBA free agency. There's a lot of teams that are going different directions. So obviously it's 2 a.m. where we're at, and we went over the 2-hour time limit, which it's okay. It's okay, I think. But what I will want to say is, got a couple things, clean up, promote ourselves, and we'll get out of here, get us some sleep. So Jeffrey, I want to start with you on this. Who is your biggest winners of free agency so far?
Trying to think to go back. I wish we had the list still pulled up, but it would be hard to go all the way through, like scrolling through. I mean, what was the one team we were talking about at the beginning? It was toward the beginning. The Nuggets. That's it. The Nuggets. They great moves. Absolutely great moves to rebuild the bench. Right? So the Nuggets, I know that's one for sure. They're one of the winners. And then you can look at the Rockets as a winner. So
there you go.
I mean,
if you want to put this, okay. What about Atlanta, Jeffrey?
I mean, they won.
Kind of take you through.
I mean, if you're to go through like every team and say winner or loser, you want to just do that real quick, like just really quick, just go through and I'll say winner or loser. I'll say the Hawks, they're a winner. They're not a big winner, but they're a winner. It's a slight win.
Okay.
Celtics, it's an L. I mean, that's clear. Lost, just big L. Nets, I mean. I don't know, man. I mean, I would say I'd say slight L. I guess not L. Great. Hornets win.
I think
win.
Bulls.
I mean, I don't. What even is that? Like, there's nothing there. I mean, probably win. They got rid of a guy that wasn't contributing, so a win, I guess. But it's not that significant though.
Cleveland win because they didn't change anything. Win. Dallas win.
Yeah. I mean, they added a guy that might not even play. That's the problem. But I guess Dallas Elo makes it a win. So sure. I mean, I guess
Nuggets. That's a definite
Denver's
win.
a big win. They're a big winner. Top 3 winner. Absolutely a top 3 winner.
Detroit, I think winner.
Yeah, I mean Hardaway Jr. almost makes it an L, but I guess Karras and Duncan, it slightly, counters it. So I guess very slight win. Golden State's a loss. They haven't done anything. It's an L. Like, what are you doing?
This is a big fat L. Blemish on society. Golden State. You are disgraced to Steph Curry.
Big loser. Like, they're top 3 loser. So, there you go.
Yes. Houston, big winner.
Win. I mean, they've got a lot of additions. So, I mean, it's got to be a win. We'll see how it turns out, though. Indiana, I mean.
Lost.
Probably an L because you lost Turk. I mean, that's an L. Like.
Clippers, I guess, win.
Sure. I mean, I think Lopez and Collins is going to help their front court. I mean, Norman Powell, that's a tough loss. It's a slight win, I guess. Slight, very slight.
Lakers loss.
Yeah. Lakers are terrible. Like Ayton. I mean, the reason why it's an L is because it's LeBron's team. If this was just regular Lakers, I mean, I would almost say a draw or a slight win, but because it's LeBron and LeBron's goal is to win a title, this isn't going to get it done. So L.
Memphis win, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can both agree that Orlando and Memphis both won slightly. I think it was a slight win for both. I guess. I think Orlando might have won a bit more, but Memphis still didn't lose, I guess.
Here's the thing. I give it a win because they were able to give Jaren Jackson a 5-year extension. I would say a win. Loss. This is a loss.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
sorry,
if you're talking about Miami, like, if they didn't get Norman Powell, it would just be a disaster. Like I said, I mean, I know why they're doing what they're doing. Spoelstra just wants to stay relevant. He doesn't want the team to be complete trash, so he doesn't get fired. But, I mean, if you're going off that, then I guess it's a win. But if you're going off of being good, then no, it's a loss. So
Milwaukee loss.
Yeah, I mean Turner, but I mean you're losing some key guys. The Lillard being waived is why it's a loss. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't say it. But it's the Lillard being waived, which is just dumb. So it's a loss.
Yes. That's what makes it a loss for me too, Jeffrey. Yeah. Miles Turner's a win for him. I like it. Yes. He spreads the floor out like Lopez did.
And he's younger than Brook Lopez. So, I mean, that is a win, but Lillard being waived, especially when they did all that to get him, is just dumb. I mean,
no. That's a loss. Minnesota draw. Is losing to Kill, does that turn the tide and make it an L?
I mean, honestly, to really make my definitive answer, not that probably anybody really cares at 2 a.m, but I'm going to look up his stats. How much did Nickeil Alexander-Walker average last year? How much did he average? Because I might be overselling how good he was. 9 points.
I said a draw. Minnesota didn't really do anything that flashy. They just re-signed everybody. Draw.
Sure.
It's not a win or a loss.
I mean, it's either a draw or a slight L, but sure. I mean, draw, I guess. I mean, that's about as draw as you can get.
Pelicans, I guess, win.
I mean, Poole's younger than McCollum. Bates, fine. Sure. Well, how I said that the T-Wolves might be slight L to draw. This is slight W to draw. Because, I mean, it's like, okay. They basically just traded the same exact players-ish, but maybe it's slightly better.
Draw.
Knicks is like whatever, man. I mean, I guess with Clarkson, it's like slight win.
I'm gonna say draw. I mean, they basically added one player and they just kept their entire roster so far. I say draw.
I just say slight win because they added somebody with a pulse to the bench. So I mean, something, I guess, but sure.
This is a draw.
Sure. I mean, they signed people that mattered. So, sure. It's not substantial.
I mean, if you want to give them a W for signing Shea, go for it. You don't have to.
They were going to sign Shea anyway, so, I mean, it's not, you know. It's not substantial. It's just that you knew they were gonna. So they did what they set out to do. I say win for the Magic. I mean, it's a win.
Mm-hmm.
It just I don't know how big of a win. We'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. We know Orlando and Memphis are both wins, Jeffrey. We just don't know how big yet.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one.
L.
Take it away, Jeffrey.
Sorry, okay. Eric Gordon, but it's a massive L. Like, we need like a loser sound effect going on, like playing just like big L, man. This is just hot trash. Like that's what that is right there.
I know, right?
Like I love you, Eric Gordon, but no, just no. Terrible. Absolutely abysmal. Eric Gordon should be at Utah or some crap right now. Like literally, like a team that's bad that you have a veteran. You know, like Eric Gordon rotted at the Rockets for a while when he still was good. You know what I'm saying? Like he rotted at the Rockets for years when Paul left and Harden left and he was the only one with a pulse left and they sucked. And then they finally get rid of him when he's old and not good anymore. So it's like, okay. I mean, it's not the Travis Lillard is. Trust me, Eric Gordon's not that. But still, like he was at the Rockets for many years, just being a solid player, but aging. And team sucks. So whatever.
Phoenix. I want to hear yours before I give it a W or L.
They got rid of Durant, so I guess it's a slight W. But if they got rid of Beal, then it would be a full W.
Okay, me and you think the same, Jeffrey. That's why we're such good pals, I guess. I was going to say this is a W because they got rid of Durant. They got off his contract. Okay.
Absolutely. That's my thought process for sure. Trailblazers is like whatever, dude. I don't like honestly, I would almost say this is an L. Like it honestly is an L because what does Holiday do to a crap team? You know what I'm saying? And like Ayton and Simons were scorers, even though they're not like Ayton. We talk trash about Ayton, but it's like Holiday. Like that's not going to do anything.
And yeah, whatever you say to that, Jeffrey, I guess I'm down. This is an L.
L, big L. Like no, just no. Spurs, I mean, they didn't really do anything crazy, and like I said, they're trying to build their roster, so it's kind of a draw. It's a draw to a slight win because they really didn't do anything. They didn't have to because they're building their roster. They don't have to really do anything. So they didn't do anything crazy good, and they didn't do anything bad, so it's fine.
It's a draw / slight W. I guess a slight win.
Slight win, maybe I guess. It's kind of a draw to a slight win. I mean, it's not crazy. A lot of these are like slight wins. Like a lot of them, like they made like the Knicks. They made one move. It's like okay, you know.
L
because they got worse. I mean, again, I know what they're doing though. They're completely collapsing and just making it a young team, and they're gonna build. So yeah, it's.
And then finally, the purgatory.
Wizards. I mean, it's just an L because they're trash. I mean, that's all I'm saying, man. Like, I don't think in and of itself, like McCollum and Whitmore, like that they're bad. Like you said, Kelly's not terrible, but it's just like, dude, I don't know, man. Jordan Poole was better, but I mean, he's Jordan Poole too, so I don't know, man. Like it's just. I don't know, man. Like L, I guess they suck. Yeah, we got Bert saying you guys are still on. I'm trying to go to sleep so that work, and you guys are still on. Sorry about that, Bert. We appreciate you for tuning in through your sleep apnea or an insomnia or whatever they call it. But we appreciate that. Definitely, I was not wanting or planning on being up this late, but who knew that NBA free agency was so fun to talk about and crazy to talk about, and how many teams make dumb trades. It's insane. Like these people get paid millions of dollars a year to make good decisions, and they don't. So it's crazy. Some of them did though, and we said big W's for the Nuggets and like the Rockets, but some of them were just bad, like really bad. And they still have time to fix this. Some of these teams do, but we'll see.
So, give out a couple superlatives and then we will end it here. So, Jeffrey, out of all the free agent moves out west, let me ask you this: between the Nuggets and Rockets, who's the biggest threat for the Thunder as we sit? Is it Houston or is it Denver after free agency? Or kind of winding down? I want you to answer because my answer might be biased. I want to hear yours first.
Probably slightly lean Nuggets.
Okay.
Only because they addressed the bench, and that's really their biggest holes that they had was the bench. I mean, Cam Johnson, like you said, defense, and then getting Bruce Brown back, like that's good stuff. And then like with the Rockets, I mean, it's so all over the place because they made so many moves. It's kind of hard to gauge. You know, like you got rid of Green and all of it, you got Durant. Like they made there so many moves that it's like at the end of the day, after all the dust is settled, will they be better? I mean, they were a 2 seed this past year. Like, will they be better than that? I mean, I think the Nuggets made themselves significantly better, whereas the Rockets maybe made themselves slightly better. But see, they were a 2 seed, but then they fell really early in the playoffs. So I don't know, man. Like I would probably say the Nuggets just because they're the more experienced team. They got the bench back, but the Rockets could be right there too. But I mean, sometimes with youth, I mean, we saw the Thunder. It took a few years. And then it finally clicked and they did it. I just don't. Durant's such a wild card because as good as Durant is, for whatever reason, the last few years, every team he's been on has gotten worse when he's gotten there. So that's why I'm saying the Rockets are a winner, but we got to see how that thing works out. As the Nuggets, they kept their core. They added a different player in Cam Johnson. It's the bench. I think you got to give it to the Nuggets.
I would too. I would agree with Denver. And then obviously the other superlative is, did anybody out east, Jeffrey, convince you that they can win the title? Did anybody make any moves in free agency that made you think this team can win out east, that they can win the whole thing?
Well, the problem is, Cleveland? I mean, Cleveland did nothing of value, so they stayed the same. The Celtics got worse. The Pacers got worse.
Bucks kind of stayed the same.
Bucks stayed the same, slightly worse. I don't even know what you want to call that. The Magic, I mean, they made the move for Bane, but I don't know if it's enough. But maybe with all these moves, it will be. The Knicks added one player. Yeah, I mean, and the rest of the teams aren't really relevant here. Hawks, I mean, they're not close enough. So I don't know. I mean, the East didn't really do much, man. The only team that made a big move was the Magic. I mean the Hawks too, but they're not championship material, man. Like, yeah, I mean, adding Kristaps and adding Nikhil is not enough, man. And like Bane is good, Bane is really good, but I don't know if it's enough for the Magic. And then the teams at the top either got worse or they didn't do anything, like the Cavs and the Knicks, basically.
So, are the Cavs the team to beat in the East? Then is what you're telling me?
Potentially. I mean, like I said, the Pacers, I mean, you got to realize that when you look at the Pacers and you say, well, they were the best team in the East last year, they finished fourth, right? They finished fourth, and then they just so happened to make the run. The Celtics, I mean, they were the second team in the East, but they fell apart. You know, they've completely destroyed their team. Not completely, but it's not good. Cleveland choked last year in the playoffs. They choked. I mean, that's what you can call that. They absolutely choked. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the Knicks didn't do anything. They had Clarkson. That's it. The East has stayed about the same for two teams, Cleveland and the Knicks, and then the Celtics and Pacers got worse, and the Bucks are just there. And that's it, basically. Magic could be there. I mean, they're the wild card, could be. I mean, the Pistons too, maybe, but I still think the Pistons are a little bit far away. I don't know. I think the East overall got worse. I think it got worse because Boston's worse. And the Pacers are probably with no Turner. I mean, and no Halley. I mean, they're going to be worse next year. He's not coming back. He hurt his Achilles. He's done for a while. Like I said, Cleveland choked. That's the problem. Cleveland and the Knicks are the two teams that didn't get worse, but they both lost early. So can you trust them? So I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say Cleveland. Like very, 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 very early odds. I mean, I can look to see if they have odds real quick. For the 26 NBA title odds. I don't know if they already have them. I'm sure they do because there's always people betting on this stuff. Let me see.
So let me ask you this then, Jeffrey. Last thing I wanted to ask you is which team's going to make the biggest leap next year?
Okay, so looking at the betting odds, the Thunder are the favorite to win it again. Then the Knicks. Then the Rockets, Nuggets, Cavs, Magic. So right there, you see the three teams in the East: the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Magic. And then from the West, it's the Thunder, the Rockets, and the Nuggets. They're all right there. And the Rockets and the Nuggets have the exact same odds. So, I mean, leap, if you're going off these odds, it'll be the Magic. Because all those other teams were there. The Thunder won it all. The Knicks were great. The Rockets finished second. Nuggets were really good, but had holes, but they're getting better. And then the Cavs choked. Again, they were the 1 seed. So, I mean, if you're going off the odds, it's going to be the Magic. The Magic are going to be the ones that make the biggest leap, but we don't know if they will or not. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they do.
I'm going to surprise you. So, Jeffrey, I'm going to surprise you. I think the Hornets make a leap this year.
Well, yeah, if you're going off like biggest win percentage increase, yeah, it could be the Hornets. Because, I mean, didn't they win like 19 games last year? If they up that to 40 somehow, yeah, it could be the Hornets. But, I mean, I was going off like increase from like where they were to like next year, like becoming like a championship quality team. Like kind of like the Pacers did, how they leaped. The Magic.
You went down that path.
Yeah, but if you're going off just win increase, yeah, it could be the Hornets, yeah. Because they could go from 19, 20 wins to 40. Yeah.
I think Toronto could be another candidate for making a leap.
Well. It's going to be the team from the East that makes the leap, probably. And win.
And what I will say is this, though, Jeffrey. I had fun talking about this, as always. This was fun. We've been on here almost 3 hours. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff. We gave out wins and losses. But, Jeffrey, I mean, NBA free agency, you know, it's cool, but this has kind of been one of the more boring ones. Other than, like, the KD and the Desmond Bane trade, I mean, no really big superstar was in free agency like the year LeBron was or the year Jimmy was. So this was kind of a quiet one. But I had fun talking about it as always. I enjoy doing these things with you. And we can let the people know this, but for our college football peeps out there, because I know we have plenty of them, Sunday night, me, Jeffrey, and Jackson are all going to be back again. So this isn't the last time you've seen us. We're going to be back Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here to discuss the top 10 non-conference games. And if Jeffrey has time, he might join us for conference games too. You never know. But definitely Sunday night, check it out. We'll be live for that. Hopefully nothing bad happens and we can make that happen. And spoiler alert, there will be no Indiana, just so you know. So for anyone that thinks Jeffrey's going to put Indiana in there, I assure you Jeffrey's not that biased.
I'm sure I'll still find a way to bring up Indiana in the show, but it's not going to be on the list.
Jeffrey, I was trying to ensure the people that there would be no Indiana, so don't even bring them up. Anywho, just for that, Jeffrey, I cursed your Panthers then. For Christ's
They're already
sakes.
cursed. Yeah. The fumble, man. He didn't pick up the fumble. All right, like we're already cursed. Okay.
But anywho, yes, NBA free agency is off the charts wacky. I had fun, Jeffrey. NBA Summer League's coming up. I know I'm gonna watch that on starting Thursday. I mean, I don't know if you watch it all, Jeffrey, but it's kind of fun to see what the new rookies are going to do. I
I
mean,
sometimes flip it on, especially if there's a player I want to see how they're doing, and see like if they're gonna make the league. So I definitely check it out when I can.
and plus, it's all free on NBA TV, ESPN, ESPN2. But yeah, Jeffrey, free agency, like I said, is always fun to talk about. But obviously, I spoiled one thing. But what else do you have going on this week?
Definitely, like you said, going to be back Sunday night with you and Jackson for the non-conference top 10 list for college football games. Like that's going to be absolutely fun show. I'm sure going to be a blast. And I'm going to be releasing more videos on previewing the SEC that Will did, and have more shorts coming out, and whatever else craziness happens. Like if there's breaking news, like a massive thing with Damian Lillard or other stuff like that. I'll definitely try to probably make a video on that type of stuff. So definitely more content coming on my YouTube channel, and I'm sure Austin's gonna have more content as well. He was doing NFL season predictions. Those were fantastic. He did one with me. That was fun. So definitely everybody check those out as well. Sports Talk with Austin. Definitely gonna have more content, I'm sure. So it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait. College football is getting closer. NBA is further away, but definitely this is like the dead time talking about the NBA, and appreciate mad respect to Burks and Hummus here for still being up with us. We appreciate you guys, but definitely it was exciting doing the show tonight, Austin, and definitely it was fun breaking it all down.
Yes, it was, Jeffrey. I appreciate you taking the time. I know this is, like you said, the dead period, and everyone's starting to get back in college football. But hey, I enjoy talking about the NBA. Free agency is one of my favorite topics to talk about because you never know who's going to go where. Hey, Jeffrey, maybe news might break that Anthony Davis is going to be a Hornet. You never know.
You never know. That would just blow up the Mavericks even more.
Or better yet, Jeffrey, it could come out Curt Cignetti's looking at other job offers.
No, absolutely not. That cannot happen. That cannot happen. Hey, but we will not speak of that.
Yes, we will. Oh, Jeffrey, hold on just a second. Holy crap. Breaking news. Curt Cignetti is going to be the next Alabama head coach. I knew it.
Well, I mean, that would be the only job where I'd be like, all right, okay, he's going to my other favorite team. But I would be so sad for Indiana. It would hurt because you know that they're not going to hire another one like Cignetti. It's just not happening. So do not let that happen. Please. Do not.
Well, see, Jeffrey, I got the beautiful report right here. Cignetti's gone. It's done. I mean, I'm sorry, but they fired him. They said he was no good, and he's going to Toledo.
Gave him a massive extension, man. Like they want it's Cignetti mania. They're gonna build a statue of him, man. Like it's
Lord have mercy. That's how you know it's late because me and Jeffrey are now going off the rails. But anywho, Jeffrey, if you want to send the final goodbye, like Jeffrey said, we're gonna be back Sunday. And we'll try to keep it under 2 hours this time. We'll try.
We'll try. There'll be a massive effort involved, but you know how we are. It's always a great time, so we usually go a little long. But definitely appreciate everybody for being here. Like the streams down below. They're on Sports Talk with Austin or Only Talk Sports. Definitely appreciate it. Subscribe to both of our channels. Check out some of our future content we got coming. It's going to be great. Can't wait for the season to start. Appreciate everybody for being here, and good night.
Go.